Let's do what we gotta do. It's on us. Let's get it. Do not let up. It's Monday night. Yeah. You know what we gonna do? Monday night. It all comes down to Monday night. It all comes down to Monday.
The teams that met in Super Bowl 33 meet in the building that hosted Super Bowl 34. Georgia Dome in Atlanta for the Broncos and the Falcons. Winner here goes to 2-0 and joins 5 other teams undefeated so far. Let's go down to the sideline and say hello to Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike. Well, so many people are willing to declare that Peyton Manning is back. And as you said, he is just not ready to do that. Yes, he says he's very happy that he has a regular season game under his belt, but he says he will feel so much better after these first 2 weeks of the season are over, because then he will know what a home game feels like and he will know what a road game feels like. Manning says that he expects that tonight will be completely different than last week's game against Pittsburgh, because the Broncos are on the road and they have to deal with this crowd noise. He says every week is a new test for him. He's learning from week to week, not just what his teammates can do, but what he can do as well. Mike?
Well, his coach is finding out very quickly what the presence of Peyton Manning means to his team. John Fox, the veteran coach, who had all that great run in Carolina, told us last night, Peyton, he raises all boats. That coach on the field stuff is legit. Mike Smith knows all about going head-to-head with John Fox. They did together in the NFC South. And they'll get a crack at a Falcons-Broncos meeting on their resumes as well. Toss won by the Broncos. They will receive. Matt Bosher, who also punts, will kick it for Denver. The rookie Omar Bolden awaits. Up we go from the Georgia Dome. Expecting a good one here tonight. Out of Arizona State, out of the end zone. Here's Bolden. Not going to get up to the 15-yard line. The receiver Kevin Cone made the tackle. So the numbers last week for Peyton Manning were very solid against Pittsburgh. What stuck out, John, was the second half. Only 2 plays in the third quarter. The fourth quarter, that no huddle, looked exactly like the Colts days.
Yes, it did. And they're also capable of coming out of the huddle. And don't be surprised if you see a lot more of that tonight. Shifts, motions, different personnel groupings. They can do a lot of new things that you're not accustomed to seeing Peyton Manning do.
Opening drive starts from the 14-yard line. Manning, first throw is juggled by Demaryius Thomas. Is it scooped? It's incomplete. Ruled incomplete from the back. Sean Weatherspoon almost had the deflection and an early interception. And Manning right away trying to keep this team in a no-huddle look.
And he's got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. They're going to try to get Jacob Tamme the football against the new nickelback of the Atlanta Falcons, number 21, Christopher Owens. Keep an eye on that matchup tonight.
It'll be a run. It's Willis McGahee. He ran into the back of Corey Jerry, the first-round pick in 09. And Jonathan Babineau had the easy cleanup.
What a great job by defensive coordinator Mike Nolan. He stems the defensive lineman. You see Croy Bierman, number 71. That's a defensive lineman that shifted across the formation, causes confusion in the blocking scheme.
Third and long. Manning floats it. Intercepted. William Moore down the sideline with a convoy to the 1-yard line.
That is not the way you want to start, obviously. They try to get the ball to Tamme down the seam. Will Moore, third-year safety, really coming into his own, makes a great break on the football. Manning went with the quick count. Nobody was ready. And what a great break by number 25, William Moore. When you go fast as an offensive football team, sometimes you don't see the final coverage. I think Peyton got fooled that time, and Will Moore made a great play.
Moore had an interception last week against Kansas City. First time he has back-to-back games with INTs. This one of Manning will give Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense the best possible field position to start their first drive. First and goal from the 1. Michael Turner so good in short yardage in the backfield. He's got it. Wrapped up, closing in. It's Kevin Vickerson made the tackle. And he's just a step short of the end zone.
That's good goal line defense by the Broncos. Atlanta has number 79, Mike Johnson, playing tight end. He's an extra offensive lineman. They run a power play. Good pad level by the Bronco defense. Inside the 1.
Fullback Lusaka Polite in there with Turner. Right back to Turner. Polite with the block, and he is stuck, but the second effort gets it in. Touchdown, Falcons.
Boy, that's just great running by Michael Turner. There's going to be an unblocked safety. I think it's number 20, Mike Adams. He's going to scrape over the top. It should be a tackle for loss. And Turner runs right over Adams to pay dirt.
Reached that ball forward. Lost it on the way to breaking the plane. And every score does get review and confirmation. And they're blowing it ready for play for the extra point. Oh, no, they're going to stop it. At first, the referee started the play clock as ready for play, but now they're going to take an extra peek and wait for the buzz down that it's either a confirmed touchdown. That little pager tells you it's confirmed or you need to come look at it.
The previous play is under review.
And our referee, Robert Dalton, will get a look at it via replay. Take a peek during the timeout, see if Atlanta has scored a minute 24 into the game. Back here in Atlanta, looking, Robert Dalton, the referee, at the replay, if it was a touchdown or not. We have Jerry Austin, twice the Super Bowl referee, over a quarter century on the field in the league. Jerry, you think that was short? Jerry tells us he does think it was short.
Lost the ball.
Okay.
The ruling on the field has been reversed. The runner fumbled the ball prior to going and ready to go in the end zone, recovered his own fumble. It'll be third down, the 6-inch yard line on the Broncos hash.
It's like a good call to me. Be interesting to see what Atlanta does here, Mike. They ran the same play from the exact same formation on first and second down. A power play to the offensive left behind Mike Johnson, who's reported as an eligible tight end. There you see number 79. I'd love to see the same play just to make a point.
They get the clock reset to the proper spot. And Mike Smith's team inches away from a touchdown off that Manning turnover on the third play. This time Polite goes to the right of Michael Turner. And Turner pushes across the goal line. Looked like he broke the plane on the initial surge, and he did. Touchdown again for Atlanta. And this time it counts.
Well, they didn't run the same play, but they gave it to the same back. You got a great back. Give it to him in key short yardage goal line situations. You're going to see Turner get up, cross the plane clearly for 6 points. That's an area, Mike, that Michael Turner has been very good at over the years for the Falcons. Short yardage and goal line running.
So Keith Brooking, the 11-year Falcon, who was there trying to make the stop. That has been confirmed upstairs as a touchdown, first of the year for Turner. And here's Matt Bryant for the extra point. Just a minute 40 in. Atlanta on the board, 7-0. It was the 33-yard interception that set it up. And John, right away, Peyton Manning jumps into the no-huddle. And the disguise of the defense for Atlanta gets the job done and turns Manning over.
Well, that's going to be a big part of this game. Mike Nolan, Mike Smith trying to confuse Peyton Manning. Don't let him know what the coverage is. On the interception, Manning goes quick. And I don't think that he thinks anybody's going to be covering Tammy down the seam. But take a look at Will Moore, number 25. Bolt back to his landmark. They're going to end up in a 4-deep zone. Manning never saw William Moore and never expected him to get to that landmark. And that's what happens when you play for Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. A lot of pre-snap disguises. Look for Peyton Manning now to slow the tempo down. That quick tempo, get up and snap it, backfired on him that time. Trust me, Manning will have an answer. But what a great start for the Atlanta Falcon defense. That's just what they wanted to do.
Was that pre-snap disguise, or was that a team trying to communicate and a little late in their communication?
Oh, they had no idea Peyton was going to snap it that quick.
Okay.
They got caught before they could even get lined up. Peyton didn't think Will Moore was ever going to get in position to make that play.
So they got caught, but they got lucky.
There's a big part of luck there, if you ask me.
Omar Bolden back again. You see his numbers as a Sun Devil. And he'll take it from 3 yards deep. Has some good blocking on the left side. Bolden, a nice return. The kicker helps with a tackle at the 27-yard line. Also Chris Hope on the stop. That's Mike McCoy. He's the offensive coordinator. He was here for all the stuff they were doing with Tim Tebow. Peyton Manning was very energetic in his praise of McCoy for helping take the run-based system, McGahee, Marino, and the success they had last year, blending it with what they've done as an offense with Peyton Manning's Colts time, and behind a good, solid offensive line with mostly returning players, come up with, through 1 week, a combination of the old Colts and last year's Broncos offense. Minus, of course, the Tim Tebow option stuff. McGahee in the back, the hard count. It's Manning who goes down as he gets his feet tangled with the interior of the line.
That's a good move, getting John Abraham early with the hard count. You got to do that against number 55.
Offside, 55 in the defense. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And I expect to see Abraham line up over there against Orlando Franklin on the right side as much as possible tonight. Great way to slow him down.
Abraham has been a huge sack guy during his days with the Jets and then here with Atlanta. You see a lot of nickel means you can see a player. John is very high on 56, Sean Weatherspoon, 54, Stephen Nicholas. The two linebackers. They lost Brent Grimes, a terrific corner, with an Achilles injury last week. Downing's pass complete. Brandon Stokely, old slot machine. They were teammates with the Colts for many years. Gets Denver its first down of the night.
That's the matchup they're going to look at all night. Christopher Owens thrust into the lineup tonight because Brent Grimes was hurt last week. Terrible Achilles injury.
The confusion, Manning just goes down to avoid an issue. And a loss of a yard, and that's the communication we talk about with these players in week 2 and first week on the road.
That's what Peyton Manning's talking about. You got to handle the noise. You got to hear the calls. I know you have all these code words and different plays and meanings, but you got to be on the same page. That's 2 bad plays so far in this no-huddle offense.
Manning throwing down the middle, another interception. It's the other safety, Thomas Deku, coming underneath. And they've intercepted Manning twice in the first 3:10. It's their 3rd year as the starting safety tandem. William Moore has a pick. Now Thomas Deku intercepting Manning. 7, a Sunday night game at San Diego. Peyton Manning was intercepted 3 times in the first quarter. Here tonight in Atlanta, less than 3:15 into this game, and he's been intercepted twice. Both safeties have gotten him. William Moore, Thomas Deku. Great field position for Matt Ryan and the Falcons at the 43. Ryan throws underneath to his running back Jason Snelling to the 37. Champ Bailey the tackle.
Well, the Falcons show a 2-deep zone, and that fools Peyton Manning on a snap of the ball. Will Moore rotates. Deku goes back to the seam, and it's just a great disguise. Manning never saw Deku roll back to the middle of the field. Easy pickings.
No huddle from the Falcons as well after the gain of 6 to Snelling. Ryan gives to Turner for a first down to the 29-yard line. Penalty marker down. Back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding number 63 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Justin Blaylock over on the left side of that line.
And I like what Atlanta's doing offensively. Michael Turner was not part of the game plan last week. This week they're using their old-fashioned 21 personnel. Lasaka Polite playing fullback. They're going to run the ball right at this Bronco front. They have struggled the last half of last season stopping the run.
Penalty sends it back to 2nd and 14. It's a 5-man rush. Tony Gonzalez, the future Hall of Famer. First down for the Falcons with a flag coming in as Gonzalez is brought down at the 32. Needed 14, got 15, and the face mask looks like it'll be tacked onto the back end.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 26 of the defense. 15 yards from into the run. First down.
It's the safety, Raheem Moore.
That was good blitz pickup as well, and Gonzalez gets one-on-one coverage. He's going to beat Mike Adams most of the time. It all starts with good blitz protection by the Falcon back, Snelling.
Right back in the red zone. Ryan gets it quickly to Julio Jones, and all over him was Tracy Porter, who had a pick 6 to cinch the game last week. So Matt Ryan, the number 3 pick in the 08 draft, outstanding start to his season. And really, John, you look at his numbers over his first 4 full years. He and Joe Flacco came in at the same time. Similar success. Flacco has won playoff games. Ryan hasn't. Can't pin that all on the quarterback. But with a new coordinator and terrific passing weapons, this is a more aggressive, positive offense. From the 19, the pressure picked up. Pass for Roddy White is incomplete, and Champ Bailey's over there with the coverage. Mentioned Roddy White. Think about the weapons that he has if they're all healthy. Roddy White, who's been as prolific a wide receiver over the last 5 years as any in the league with Ryan. Then you have on the opposite side Julio Jones out of Alabama as he continues to emerge. They like Harry Douglas, the slot guy, and Gonzalez. Your question is up front. Can they hold up there?
Yep, left tackle Sam Baker, right tackle Tyson Claybo can have their hands full tonight against this Bronco rush.
Jaquiz Rogers is the back on 3rd and 12. A shot for the end zone for Jones. Julio didn't hold on. Went to the ground, didn't complete the process, incomplete.
Get down in this red zone fringe. If you see one-on-one coverage, Matt Ryan is going to go after you. That time he finds Tracy Porter one-on-one with the bigger Julio Jones. Julio's got to make that catch, I think.
And again, he catches, takes the 2 steps as he goes to the ground. Does he complete the process once he goes down to the ground? We saw a few of those yesterday, ruled incomplete by rule. Matt Bryant, 4 for 4 in the opening week in Kansas City from 37 yards. Out of the hold of Matt Bosher, and 2 Peyton Manning interceptions have turned into 10 quick Falcon points. From the South, we go to the great Northwest next Monday night. We'll see Seattle. How impressive were they against Dallas right from the start of that game against the Green Bay Packers, who beat Chicago Thursday night. So Aaron Rodgers heads out to Seattle with the Pack. See you next Monday night, 5:30 Seattle time for kickoff with Monday Night Countdown 2 hours before. Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator, just a little bit of confidence in conversation with Peyton Manning after those 2 picks in the first 2 possessions. And this one will start from their own 20. So here are the 2 possessions and the 2 interceptions. The conversation going on with the Atlanta defense. William Moore got back there as they were trying to get the signals communicated, comes up with the interception, and then the other safety, Thomas Deku, taking a little shake of the head. It's been a while since he's gotten off to that tough a start. Going back, as we mentioned, 5 years ago, there was a Week 10 game on a Sunday night in San Diego. Start from the 20 with a couple of tight ends. McGahee looking right, and Moore is right there. No gain.
Well, if you're going to beat a great quarterback, you better create some confusion. And so far, Atlanta's moving all over the place. Look at these Falcons jumping all over the place. And watch Will Moore on the right side of your screen. Unblocked. Mike Nolan has these Falcons flying around, all 11 of them. And Denver can't sort them out.
Second and 10. Pressure comes. Manning gets rid of it. It's Jacob Tamme. Moving the open field, stretching for the first down as Dante Robinson comes up from his corner spot to make the tackle. So Brandon Stokely, the slot receiver, Jacob Tamme, who when Dallas Clark got hurt in 2010 came in and had such a Big Ten game stretch. Those familiar faces for Manning, important in week 1. 3rd and inches. Just got to get the ball to touch the 30 for a first down. Peyton comes up under center, and a flag thrown for a false start.
Boy, this is very uncharacteristic of what we've grown accustomed to with Manning in a no-huddle offense.
False start, number 50 to the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That's on the center, J.D. Walton. John, we talked about the communication and all the line calls, and I talked to J.D. about this last night. There's a lot more that they've had to do. He said there are code words for the code words. This is all an adjustment for the guys up front.
Well, Manning will change the play inside of 3 seconds. You don't get much time to decipher it. That was clearly the problem that time.
3rd and 5. Falcons bring 5. Flush Manning. Pass is ruled a catch by Stokely just over the 30 for a first down.
Nice play by Peyton Manning. Under pressure from number 56 Weatherspoon, and that time Stokely makes a great catch. Adjusting to the ball, snaps it back to the outside, plucks it.
Good job.
But that play was made by Peyton Manning, eluding Sean Witherspoon, who was in hot pursuit.
A heck of a job from the veteran Stokely. There's McGahee to the right, past the safety, down the sideline. As he got the step on William Moore, and Willis McGahee gains 15 yards. So last year, when the Broncos were the best running attack in the NFL, McGahee had a very good season, almost 1,200 yards, as Asante Samuel is injured behind the play for Atlanta. This Falcons defense that lost cornerback Brent Grimes to the Achilles injury last week now sees the 4-time Pro Bowler from the Patriots and the Eagles, Samuel, injured. Timeout. Asante Samuel was helped up, and you see them going with the medical test on the cornerback. His knee into the head of Samuel. Jacob Tamme, the tight end, who was blocking. So Robert McClain, 7th-round pick of the Panthers a couple of years ago out of UConn. Played 16 NFL games, now finds himself on the field. 1st and 10 Manning. Demarius Thomas with the catch. And the downfield blocking of Stokely gets the first down into Atlanta territory at the 41.
Same play they scored on last week. A quick screen. Take advantage of all the disguising from Atlanta. 8 or 9 men in the box. But watch John Abraham run to the football. 34 years old. Boy, I'd love to see effort like that. And Demarius Thomas continues to prove he can run with the ball after the catch. Very physical young wideout. Good to see him healthy.
Steeler fans are glad to see it's not only their team in the playoffs last year and the regular season last week. Manning from the 40, throws it down the middle. That's a 3rd interception, and that's Robert McClain. Manning picked 3 times in the opening quarter, and McClain still going, takes it to the 47-yard line.
3 times Manning has thrown the ball in the middle of the field deep, and 3 times they've been intercepted. That time McClain did a great job playing 2 receivers and reading Manning's eyes.
Flag down in the middle of the field. It was on Denver. It is declined. So as Asante Samuel gets hurt, McClain, who last year was with Carolina and waived, signed by Jacksonville, didn't play with the Jaguars, and hooks on here essentially as the 5th corner last week Samuel's hurt. Grimes is hurt. McClain's playing, and he intercepts Manning. Well, 7 Peyton Manning passes have found hands, 4 for Denver, but 3 for Atlanta in the first quarter.
Well, you're going to see 2 receivers run vertical, and watch the corner. He's going to play both of these routes in a 3-deep zone defense, and that's just good technique by a left corner. Watch him. He's going to see 2 Broncos running vertical. He plays both vertical routes, gets a good read on the quarterback. Mike Nola and this defensive staff have to be very pleased with the way their secondary's played.
There's John Elway up there watching the replay as you were drawing it up a couple of seconds ago to see what happened. Stokely also looked like he injured his right arm on that play. 8 minutes in, Manning's been intercepted 3 times. End around with Julio Jones, only gains a yard. Tracy Porter over there for the tackle. Peyton Manning did say it, John. He said everyone else wants to say I'm back. I'm not there yet necessarily. I think there's a lot more we have to do. And John Elway said I had no doubts of Peyton coming back health-wise because I had seen him in training camp in the OTAs. Now the questions are, how do we build on it? Thus far, a very rocky first quarter start in their first road game. How can the Falcons continue to take advantage? Setting the screen for Turner, well read by Von Miller, the outstanding NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last year.
Well, Dirk Cutter wanted to run some more screen passes, and they motion right to Von Miller. He's in coverage. He recognizes it, sifts through the trash, and makes a beautiful open field tackle. Last year's Rookie of the Year on defense, Von Miller. Boy, he has a lot of stuff that I like.
39, pressure up the middle on Ryan. Throws, and he's nearly intercepted. Mike Adams had a hand on that, but a flag thrown from the secondary. And the Broncos are trying to say it was tipped. If the ball is deflected, the defenders can make contact, and there's no defensive pass interference.
If there's any doubt that ball was tipped. Full blitz that time by the Denver Broncos. They got pressure on Ryan. Threw it quicker than he wanted to. The ball's tipped.
And you have the contact coming almost simultaneously with the tip.
You saw those Bronco coaches come onto that near hash. It was tipped.
Defensive pass interference on Denver. Squad foul, automatic first down.
And John Fox in disbelief saying that the ball was tipped. The coaches were given a heads up by the league office to temper how they work these current officials who are in their second regular season week replacing the regular officials. John's trying to plea and say it was before the deflection. The tip came before the contact happened, which would erase the penalty. A deflected ball and a tip there could be challenged by the coach. It's often to see if it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. But the Falcons have it, first down at 38. Now John Fox does throw the challenge flag. And the Broncos sideline is still getting on the officials, including Jack Del Rio. 9 years head coach in Jacksonville, now is the defensive coordinator here in Denver after he was fired by the Jaguars.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field, and the ball was tipped prior to defensive pass interference.
So they'll take a look in replay. The Broncos, 3 interceptions early on, things not going their way. Very unhappy thus far. We'll see what the replay ruling is after this. 3 interceptions early for Denver. Atlanta has scored on the first 2 possessions. The third one either is first down in Bronco territory or fourth down. John Fox challenging on the deflection for pass interference. Rare that a penalty flag is challengeable, but the tip makes it that way. Let's bring in our rules expert, former NFL referee Jerry Austin.
When a ball is tipped and it's not in the same area where the interference occurs, then the tip overrules the contact. There is sufficient yardage, in my opinion, where this tip occurs before where the contact occurs, and I think with this tip that the flag should be picked up.
Jerry, does it matter if the tip happens simultaneous to the contact?
No, because it occurred in front of where the contact was.
Gotcha. That's the interpretation from a veteran NFL referee, and you see this group writing down a lot. Usually when you start writing down, that means we're going to take it back to the last spot, get the clock right, the down and distance. And it's good awareness by John Fox in the Denver sideline to know that's a challengeable play, because very few flags are challengeable. That was a smart move on their part.
The ruling on the field has been reversed. The ball was tipped prior to the defensive pass interference. It'll be 4th down and 9. The clock will read 5 minutes, 35 seconds.
Seen 2 plays reversed already. A goal line play where Michael Turner was ruled touchdown. That was reversed. Correct. We've got 2 reversals here in the first quarter. At least they're getting it right.
There was a lot more talk in week 2 as you were watching games back home. We were watching back at our hotel with you, and it's the same thing. There was less commanding control of the game by these current officials compared to week 1 as that issue continues to play out. So it's 4th down, and the 3rd interception doesn't turn into points. Matt Bosher, his second-year punter, will kick it away. End over end, trying to make it tough to catch. Bosher's punt is fair. Caught by Jim Leonard at the 10, and here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Mike, you saw Asante Samuel go back into the locker room. They were calling it a neck injury. They wanted to give him a further evaluation. He's now back out on the sideline, and as you can see, going back into the game. But what you may not have seen is cornerback Chris Owens. He went back into the locker room just a short while ago, and they're saying that he's being further evaluated for a possible head injury. Mike?
And Owens was the player who stepped into the role as the nickel because of the injury last week to Brent Grimes. So major upheaval in the Falcons secondary, but they picked off Peyton Manning 3 times in the first 9.5. So they'll run it with McGahee. Got a good block from the tight end Joel Dreesen, and Willis McGahee with a big gain out to the 40-yard line.
That's Denver Bronco football I remember from last year. A 1-back power play from the shotgun. Great double team. Backside guard pulls, and Willis McGahee is off to the races. Good blocking on the perimeter by these receivers. And if you get Willis McGahee and that 230-pound body, that kind of open air, he's going to have a big night. 3 different teams McGahee has gone for 1,000 yards for. He's had an impressive career.
No Sean Marino now the back for the Broncos. And the former Georgia Bulldog is stopped in the backfield by Stephen Nicholas. Led the Falcons in tackles. Had a dozen in KC last week.
Well, 12 tackles. Missed half of the season last year with injury. But watch number 54 sift through the traffic and make a beautiful open field fallback tackle. Like Nicholas. He can play in base. He can play in nickel. He can play anywhere.
Mentioned Brandon Stokely looked a bit shaken up after that last interception. He's back in the game in the slot. 2nd and 12, Manning to throw. Caught, good fingertip grab by the tight end Joel Dreesen. John, tight end so important in this offense, and Dreesen was good in the Houston system.
Well, Dreesen caught about 90 passes his last 3 seasons. He's the one tight end that can do it all for the Colts. He can run routes, he can pass protect and run block. And just when I say that, they take him off the field. But a big 3rd down and 5 here. And keep an eye on number 29, Dominic Franks. He's playing a nickel position. He's the 3rd string nickel corner for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of injuries at that position.
Manning, 3rd and 5, heading that way. Jacob Tamme upended. Shy of the first down by a yard as Asante Samuel injured on the last drive, comes back, puts his head in there and makes a play.
Good play. They motion to a bunch formation. They have him outflanked. And Asante Samuel, after injuring his neck, shows a lot of guts. You got to love that about Asante Samuel. He's brought a lot of swagger to this Falcon football team. He can still play. That's a lot of courage after hurting your neck earlier, coming back and making that kind of play.
There's a knee and a thigh from Tammy that injured him. And he goes and gets Tammy this time to bring him down. Britton Colquitt, the famous hunting brothers and family. Dad, his uncle, his brother, all NFL punters. Fair caught by Franks. Back at the 10-yard line. 39-yard punt with no return. Well, John, Matt Ryan and this Atlanta offense, they were so productive in Kansas City. They only punted once, and that was with 3.5 left in the game. They had a great command, and I mentioned it earlier with the coordinator change. The personality of this team is perhaps shifting from a power run team to an aggressive downfield throwing team.
A little bit more aggressive, I think, under Dirk Cutter, but every one of these Falcons, they have a lot of respect for what they got done under Mike Mularkey as well.
Michael Turner fouled up in the backfield. Good penetration by Robert Ayers helped force that to just a yard game. Is it easier for Matt Ryan this year at the line of scrimmage?
I think it is simplified a little bit. Nothing's easy about doing what Matt's doing. But last year under Mike Mularkey, he'd get in this no-huddle offense. He'd have packages of 12 to 15 plays. That's very, very hard and mentally exhausting for a quarterback. I think Dirk Cutter has simplified it. He's got 3 or 4 play packages. He doesn't have to grind as much as he has in the past mentally.
Back to Turner. He's going left. The pulling guard, Garrett Reynolds, gave him the block. A couple of yards shy of the first down. Be 3rd and 3.
Well, I remember Michael Turner standing next to him the first time I saw him. His lower body, the power he has in those legs, it's significant. I call him road rage. Every time he runs the football, he is angry, and you better get out of his way. He's going to fight you for every foot. That's an impressive 5-yard run.
Sets up 3rd and short. Jaquiz Rogers replaces him as the 3rd down back. Rogers picked up the pressure, and Tony Gonzalez, a rare drop by the future Hall of Famer.
Well, that was a specialty protection in the shotgun. Jaquiz Rogers, the 5'6" halfback, comes across the formation and cuts Von Miller. Very uncommon that you see that from Tony Gonzalez on 3rd down. Nice pickup by the young back.
So Bosher punts. Jim Leonard, the former Jet, back deep to receive. Signed late in camp. Very dependable. Catches it, is just 6-7 yards. Usually not a threat to bring it all the way home on a punt return. But a fair catch it here. Just a 38-yard kick will give Manning and the Broncos good field position with 1:23 to go in the opening quarter. It's been tough starts for the Mannings. Think of Eli yesterday. 3 picks in the second quarter for the Giants. They came back to beat Tampa Bay. Peyton in the first quarter with 3 interceptions.
Well, you just read my mind. There's something about these Manning brothers, the mental toughness that they play the position with. You got to have amnesia. You got to forget about a bad series, a bad quarter. And I'm sure Peyton Manning is wired in right now.
It's been 11 years since a quarterback threw 4 picks in 1 quarter. And it was Tom Brady back in 2001 against the Broncos. McGahee to the left. Only a gain of about 2 yards on that run. William Moore, these safeties are doing a very nice job of being active.
Well, there's 11 Atlanta Falcons within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. Mike Nolan is doing everything he can to show as much pressure to Peyton Manning as he can, and then they're rolling into different coverages and different looks. They backed off here a little bit this time.
The receiver's shotgun run with McGahee for the first down. John, that's the simple explanation of the brains of Peyton Manning. We spread you out. You've got nickel personnel out there. Well, we can run with McGahee and our good old line.
Yeah, you got a lot of defensive linemen stemming. You got everybody in two-point stances. Hand the ball to Willis McGahee behind this big offensive line. This left side, Clady, Beatles, they're as good as there is in the AFC. And I like this center, J.D. Walton.
Noshawn Moreno now at the back. Coming off a right ACL injury. He lost the football. Bottom of the pile. Atlanta has recovered a fourth Denver turnover in the first quarter. Now, the Broncos have come out of the pile with the ball. The initial signal clearly given by one of the officials was that the ball belonged to Atlanta. It was Stephen Nicholas knocking it out of the hands of Moreno. It was Orlando Franklin, the right tackle, who came out of the pile with the ball. But there's some altercation going on at the 40-yard line as one of the Falcons right in the middle of things, and John Fox, the head coach, pushing Asante Samuel away. And as we mentioned yesterday, the officials lost control of the Philadelphia-Baltimore game, among others. And a similar situation here after the controversy at this fumble.
Well, this is not good. These referees, they need to back these players back towards their sidelines. There's going to be a potential ejection here. I see Ray Edwards get into it long after the whistle.
I think one of the officials' hats might have been knocked off as the players were involved in that scrum. Again, the fumble, there was one official working very hard to get down in the pile, and one striped arm came up and pointed that it was Falcon ball. But then the bottom of the pile, the ball emerged in the hands of the right tackle for the Broncos, Orlando Franklin.
Had it. It was yelling red. The ruling on the field is that Atlanta recovered the ball at the bottom of the pile.
He makes that clear statement before the penalty gets administered. And the Broncos players, a lot of them are out there crowding around the officials. Here's Asante Samuel right in the middle of this when it started to get away. It bumps into Zane Beatles. And John Fox and other people trying to get in the middle of that. And that's where the second part of this post-fumble scrum went on.
It's taken a long time to organize justice here.
Ray Edwards was the one who also got involved there. These Bronco players are still mad because they feel like we came out of the pile with the ball.
We also have a dead ball, personal foul, number 93, red. After the penalty, it'll be first down.
It's the Ray Edwards flag we talked about as one was thrown for his pushing and shoving.
There's no place for it in football, but the officials, they have to take control of this. They have to be emphatic about clearing these players off the pile, finding out whose ball it is. That one got out of hand. That could have got really ugly.
And again, it's been said a lot. These guys are doing the best they can. Remember, they're all rookies when it comes to the NFL. And they're not the best rookies available because those are the guys who work in the SEC or the Big Ten or the Big 12. So, John, it's like taking a sixth-round group of draft picks, making them a team, and saying, go play against the best in the NFL who've been out there for a long time. And what the players are doing after week one, they figured out what the parameters are with the substitute teachers. And now they're taking advantage of them wherever they can. And let's not lose in the subcontext of all this, the big story that the Broncos have turned it over now 4 times in this first quarter, 3 Manning interceptions, and that fumble by Noshawn Moreno.
That's true. 4 turnovers. We've had 2 challenges, and we've had an 8-minute, I don't know what you just called this episode here, but 10-0 ball game. We got to get back to the action. Denver was minus 12 last year in the turnover department. They're one of the few teams I can remember in NFL history to make the playoffs being negative double digits in that department, and they're not going to go back to the playoffs with this type of turnover.
Referee coming over to Mike Smith. Explanation over to the Falcons head coach. Once again, if you're wondering, can you go back to replay and check? And we've talked about this very often. You can only determine if it's a fumble and is there a clear recovery, like in the open field, and award the ball to a team. In a scrum like that, you can't go back to replay and determine who has the ball, because often it changes hands at the bottom of the scrum and we see a guy come out and point. So you can't go back to replay to say who recovered it first time around. I know, John, Jerry Austin during the year, he has talked to us often about, very often, who comes out at the bottom of the pile with the ball is what the officials will use to determine. And as they're down there, you see Franklin of the Broncos still digging in there and coming off the end of the pile with the ball. But that was after they had pointed the other way and said Atlanta ball. Well, for all the people over the years who have complained about the officials in the National Football League, you gain a great appreciation for how good a job they did relative to what we're seeing here over the last couple of weeks. Final play of the quarter is a Michael Turner run. They brought down Mike Adams, the safety, made the capping hit with Joe Mays at the 20. Woo. It was only one quarter. 10-0 Falcons on Monday Night Football. Quarter number 2 in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters down on the field. 10-0. Falcons had 15 plays and 31 yards in the first quarter, yet they have a 10-0 lead on the back of 3 Denver turnovers, and a 4th has given them the ball here at the start of the second. And Ryan throws through the hands of Julio Jones. They were looking at his hand earlier after he dropped one going to the ground in the end zone. That first quarter took nearly an hour. The Broncos have turned it over 4 of the 5 times they've had the ball. 3 of them on Manning picks and poor numbers. Michael Turner's 1-yard touchdown run. It took 3 tries to get it from the one, the only touchdown thus far. Third and 7. 5 DBs for the Broncos. Matt Ryan in trouble, taken off. Slides, and it's where he started the slide, which is a yard shy of the first down, and a flag is thrown. Atlanta players and fans want the flag for a late hit as Ryan went down on the slide, and Joe Mays came piling in.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. Late hit, 15 yards, first down.
Super slow-mo, it looks less impactful. Once he slides, you can't go back down after him, especially end up hitting him in the head. We saw John Wendling of Detroit last night in a similar situation with Alex Smith. A slide, quarterback going feet forward, and the forearm to the head is a flag. And the drive stays alive for Atlanta. Down throw, Doomerville off the edge was blocked. Roddy White the catch. Made 2 men miss and got 8 yards.
For that time, Atlanta did a great job motioning Jaquiz Rogers outside of Roddy White, where he became a slot receiver. He runs a shallow cross, and watch what he does with this 4-yard catch. Makes Porter miss. Here comes Brookings. 4-yard catch turns into an 11-yard or 9-yard play, I should say. But Roddy White, over 200 catches in the last 2 seasons. He can get it done.
Boy, he and Ryan have been so good since Matt was drafted here in Atlanta. On first down, Ryan scrambling, throwing towards White, the sideline, ruled a catch.
That play has no chance from the very beginning. No chance in a million years. He runs a bootleg right into a safety blitz, and Mike Adams has him. And he makes an incredible off-balance throw. And how about that chalk work by Roddy White?
A little toe tap there, huh?
I'll tell you what, that's beautiful on both ends. But when you can make a first down and a nice play out of nothing, that's something.
Great look straight down the sideline. That toe tapping in. Power formation, extra offensive lineman for Atlanta. And a flag.
Red guard, 75.
False start, number 75 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
It's on Garrett Reynolds. We talked about White since Matt Ryan and he have been a tandem leading the league. Receptions, yards, first downs, touchdowns. And the question some have, Julio Jones, first-round pick, now ready to take more of the load offensively. Will Roddy White continue to be that kind of a threat and that kind of a weapon?
Well, Julio's going to play on the right. Roddy's going to play on the left for the most part. And they're both going to be heavily involved.
First and 15 for Ryan. After the penalty, through the hands of Gonzalez, and almost a Raheem Moore touchdown. He had nobody in between. We talk about the no huddle that Atlanta is incorporating. Remember Indianapolis for many years had Marvin Harrison always on the right and Reggie Wayne on the left? Well, John, they were telling us in no huddle situations, it's always going to be Roddy to the right and Julio to the left for this Atlanta team.
Well, you become more specialized. You play faster. You don't have to switch sides. And these receivers get better, more accomplished, more work on each side.
You see White on the left this side and Jones on the right. They're going to do that in no huddle situations when they go with quick tempo. But they've got the flexibility to move them around and have that guy work the middle of the field. Gonzalez to the 32 and a first down gain of 16.
Great pickup by Tyson Claybo at left tackle, and Tony Gonzalez gets a free release, squares this pattern off nicely into the middle of the field. Nice catch. But Claybo, or Sam Baker, I should say, at left tackle, did a nice job picking up that blitz. Good work.
Second all-time in receptions in the NFL. Only Jerry Rice has more than Tony Gonzalez. A whistle thrown from the secondary.
So
The snap imminent. The Broncos had one too many on the field.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men line up in position. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You got 12 and you're ready to snap. They're going to call it this year and kill the play. Used to be just something they'd throw and then it would be after the play. This year it wipes it out. John, there's the numbers we talked about. Tony Gonzalez, only Jerry Rice with more receptions in NFL history, and the impact he has around the building as well.
No question. What he does before practice, after practice, really sets a tone with this Falcon football team. And what a stellar career he's had. He's managed to stay healthy, and a lot of that has to do with his off-the-field work habits. He's got an unbelievable diet, Mike.
Yeah.
His exercise routine, got a lot of pride in being a professional, and what a role model he is for everybody.
John Fox is going to challenge this ruling. And as Fox was talking about the challenge, I have 11 on the field, he said. A flag was then thrown on the far sideline by the official in front of Fox. 12 men on the field is something that is reviewable. Broncos already have challenged once and won, so they still have 2 challenges to use.
It's hard to watch tonight. This has been very, very hard to watch football.
Denver is challenging the ruling of the field of 12 men lined up on the field in defense.
And John Fox wants to know, you're going to pick up that other flag as well, which we don't know yet what it's been thrown for. Sloppy start to this one. The coverage this Monday night from Atlanta is brought to you by DirecTV. Maybe things are smoother up there. Honestly, it's embarrassing. The command and control of this game is gone. And the officials are trying, but they can't do it. And John Fox was ripping the official on his side, and that's why the flag was thrown. It was ruled 12 men.
The
He
ruling
challenged.
on the field has been confirmed. There were 12 men lined up in the defensive formation. Denver is charged a challenge and the first timeout.
Here is the look. There are the numbers. There were 12. Now, right before this, there was a sub that took place. One guy came off, one guy came on. John Fox is incredulous that it was called. He was sure they had 11, but there's the video evidence. And because it was a second challenge and they didn't get it right, that means Denver's out of challenges for the rest of the game. So on a night where you don't trust any flag that's thrown, if you want to challenge the administration of a foul here or one of those other plays, you don't have a challenge left. Five-yard penalty, it's 1st and 5. And that second flag that was thrown on Fox for his conversation with the officials was not administered. It was just thrown and picked up, I guess. On a run to the right, Jaquiz Rogers gains a yard. How hard is it to keep a team and your players focused on what's going on when all the extraneous stuff is very hard to deal with for the team?
It's hard. It's hard if you're a family and you have kids in the stands and you want to watch a game. I mean, it's very difficult to stay focused and concentrate, but that's part of being a pro.
And part of what these coaches have to do with these teams in this situation. Ryan, nothing open, scrambling. Put it up for his tight end, Gonzalez. 3 shy of a first down. Von Miller's pressure.
Well, they ran back-to-back plays that looked exactly the same. The first time he gave it to Rodgers, that time he faked it to Rodgers. Watch Rodgers come across the formation. Nobody's open, and Tony Gonzalez is going to leap as a check-down outlet late. That's a veteran play by a Hall of Fame tight end. Give your quarterback somewhere to go in a no-win situation.
So it's 3rd and 2. Ryan keeps it at the line of scrimmage and adjusts the play. It'll be a handoff to Jaquiz Rogers. And it was snuffed out. And it'll bring up 4th down as Von Miller got there first, and then Champ Bailey came in for the tackle.
Boy, they do a great job diagnosing this play. It's going to be a crazy shotgun run with left guard Blaylock pulling. And Woodyard did a nice job. Number 24, the 11-time Pro Bowl corner, stung off the edge. Big tackle. That was a huge stop for the Broncos. Boy, did they need that.
Guy used to kick for you in Tampa, John, Matt Bryant. Good from 42, now from 37. Snap by the rookie snapper Josh Harris. And Bryant is 2 for 2 on the night, 6 for 6 on the season. 4 Denver turnovers. Atlanta's got a 13-0 lead. See if Peyton and the Broncos can right the ship here in the ATL. Atlanta Falcons leading 13-0. Coming off their 40-24 win at Kansas City. And here in the home opener, which was expected to be by some back and forth, no huddle. High scoring from the offenses. Been instead very sloppy. And that continues through the hands of Omar Bolden, going nowhere. Just tuning in, has been different than 8 nights ago for Peyton Manning. Intercepted very early on by Will Moore, and then Thomas Daku, the other safety. And then a 3rd interception by Robert McClain, who was only on the field because Asante Samuel got hurt. And then Noshawn Moreno came in to spell Willis McGahee, and he fumbled the ball. It's been a decade. Patrick Ramsey was the quarterback of the Redskins in 2002 when they turned it over 4 times in a quarter.
Look at these Falcons moving around. I don't know what they're playing.
Manning trying to decipher it. Gets it to Demaryius Thomas on the sideline for a gain of 4 yards.
But, you know, when you look at offensive coordinator Mike McCoy, how about the change he's been through since he's been in Denver? He worked for Josh McDaniels. He's calling plays for Kyle Orton. Then they have to adjust to Tim Tebow and run option plays. Now they have to adjust to the great Peyton Manning. This is going to be a work in progress for Denver. I hate to break it to anybody, but it's not all going to be pretty early in the season.
Shotgun run with McGahee. Good job holding on as Vance Walker was trying to pull it away from him.
When I go back to Peyton Manning, he told us last night, Mike, he said, don't get excited about what happened last week in Pittsburgh. I'm not 100%. I've got a little rust on me. We got a long way to go. We have to temper what happened in that Steeler game. But Peyton Manning's going to try everything tonight to get back in this game. One score, and Denver's right back in this football game.
Timeout, Falcons. 3rd and 2 coming up. We'll come back. Matt Ryan and the Falcons played Indianapolis last year, but of course Peyton Manning didn't play. This is the first chance he's had to go up against the future Hall of Famer. And he said, yeah, we're not on the field at the same time, but you love it. Love to see where you stack up. So far it's been the Manning mistakes that have helped Ryan's team up 13-0. 3rd and 2 for Denver. And crowd in the front there as McGahee looks for space, and there's none there. Troy Bierman made the second hit, but Vance Walker's penetration got it all started. And the penalty marker has been thrown.
Manny Ramirez, the right guard, 65, on a backside cutoff, got caught.
Holding, number 65 of the offense. That penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
Well, when you run the zone blocking scheme and you're a backside blocker, getting these cutoffs is at times difficult. But take a look at Ramirez for yourself. Against this blitzing linebacker, he tries to overtake the center, and that's about as clear as it gets. Boy, Denver has really played poorly tonight on offense.
Dominique Franks, John, back for the punt from Colquitt. 46 yards, and Franks makes the fair catch. At the 27. 4 3-play drives by the Broncos. 3 turnovers, and that 3 and out. Atlanta's defense has provided great confusion tonight, John.
Look at this. I still can't figure it out. Look at these Falcons hovering around, 9 of them, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and they're confusing the Broncos blocking schemes. Earlier in the game, they're not even lined up. No one's in a stance. Manning snaps it on a quick count. I don't know what the front is. I don't know what the coverage is. The ball's thrown. It's intercepted. A lot of the plays that the Falcons have made tonight on defense, you have to credit their game plan. They've disguised, they've fooled the Denver Broncos, and it's driving Peyton Manning crazy.
Turnover ratio, low penalties. Every coach strives for it. Mike Smith has had it in his 4 years. That's why the record has been so good. As Matt Ryan takes over from the 27, Michael Turner just keeps those choppy steps, his feet going. Gets 3 to the 30-yard line. Wesley Woodyard and Joe Mays bring down Turner. NFC best last year, John, in his rushing yards, 1340. And really, every year since he came over from San Diego, he's been productive. That injury season kept him under 1,000 yards.
Heck of a back.
And the 30, Ryan gets time, and his throw to Julio Jones with a flag down is incomplete as Tony Carter thought he was going to get the ricochet and turn it into an interception. Pass interference whistle.
That's offense.
He started, the official threw the flag, started to point towards Atlanta and then pointed the other way in his preliminary signal to the referee.
Defensive pass interference, number 32. Spot foul, automatic 1st down.
I think these pass interference calls need to jump off the screen at you. Let's see Carter, number 32, working against Julio Jones. I don't see that anywhere. I just don't understand how they can call pass interference on Carter.
It's been the most problematic, I think, of the calls as we've watched, the hardest to judge. So it's 1st down, and Ryan's got Harry Douglas running with him. The 3rd receiver in this group going to get 9 yards, and Mike Adams makes the tackle on a player who the Falcons say is underrated nationally, but not in our group.
Well, when you get your running game going, you can run some bootlegs. And Harry Douglas is like a stunt man. He'll come across the formations. They do some great creative things with Harry Douglas off of play action. And that involves Michael Turner. That's why he's so valuable to this Falcon offense. He gets Matt Ryan a lot of great looks in the passing game.
And Ryan in control of the tempo of this game. Brought him to the huddle. Saw what the Denver defense was doing. And checked it to this. Roddy White, back shoulder, out of bounds. First down at the 27-yard line.
He audibles to his favorite audible. I've seen him get to this concept many times. But when you go after Champ Bailey with your best, that's what Monday Night Football's all about. One-on-one bump and run coverage. Go to Roddy White, your top receiver against one of the best corners in football. That tells you the confidence Matt Ryan has in himself and his great receiver.
Gain of 16, they go empty. You're at home, so you can hear the call, Roddy White, as you walk in closer. Ryan going middle to Gonzalez. John, right now, he looks like Peyton Manning in the old Colt offense.
And Gonzalez looks like he's a Kansas City Chief in 1999. Watch this stick route. He ran the quick out early in the football game. Now he sticks to the outside, breaks back to the inside. Tony Gonzalez has a lot of routes that start off looking the same that are different. He's done it for 16 years.
Gain of 15 there. What do you call this? Reading the mail?
He's reading the mail of the Broncos. Watch out for a quick trap play to Turner.
There he goes, Michael Turner running left. Nice job to come up by Raheem Moore, the safety, and limit the gain to a yard and a half.
Yeah, these veteran quarterbacks, they try to smell out two deep safeties. And when he sees a six-man box, it's just a matter of what run does Matt Ryan want to get to. That time he runs the ball right at Wesley Woodard on a draw play. Ryan making sure the Falcons are getting great looks tonight.
2nd and 9. From the 11, Von Miller quick off the line, couldn't get there. First down, Harry Douglas to the 2.
You know, Matt Ryan's got a quick release. That's where the similarities between Peyton Manning occur. Watch what Von Miller does to Tyson Clayball, but it doesn't matter. Ball's gone. And here comes Mike Johnson, the eligible offensive tackle playing tight end. This is their heavy scheme on offense. Number 79 playing tight end at the top of the screen.
First and goal from the 1. Turner time down here. Play action with Michael. Ryan throws wide open. Slam dunk. Gonzalez.
He's 95% sure he's going to retire. That number's going down. I think he's got a lot of gas left in the tank. What a drive by Matt Ryan. Running the ball, play action passing, all no huddle. Watch Gonzalez come from left to right. Nobody covered him. You have to commit people to stop Michael Turner in a goal line situation, and Tony Gonzalez, just a simple over route, is all by himself. Watch his dunk. I want to go back and show you his dunk over the years.
Okay, hang on, we'll get there. He's got a lot of practice.
Yes, he does.
9th time in the history of the National Football League. 97 touchdowns. You like this?
I love it.
Oh, career game 240. No tight ends played him more. No tight end is the numbers he has, John.
Well, I used to call him a joker. I still do. A joker is a tight end that's good in any formation. I've seen him play tight end, wide receiver, slot receiver, and all of a sudden came Antonio Gates. It's a trend Gonzalez started. Now Vernon Davis lining up everywhere for the 49ers. I can show you more jokers, Mike.
Because as those guys hit it, touchback, they'll take over at the 20. other players and other teams wanted in on that.
Well, Jimmy Graham,
right?
Okay, Gronkowski, Hernandez, all these tight ends have come into pro football, and offenses are using them so creatively. That kid, Tony Gonzalez, he killed me when I was a Raider and he was a Chief, and he followed me to the NFC South, and he killed me when I was a Buccaneer, and I'm up here with you. But that is a tight end that has changed the game, and he's still going strong. You got to love this guy.
There's 97 touchdown receptions, as we said. Top 10 all-time in the NFL. 9th on the list. Manning is down 20-0. Eric Decker to the sideline for 5 in front of Asante Samuel.
I give Mike Nolan, his defensive coordinator, a lot of credit. Again, full blitz, 10 Falcons within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, giving Peyton Manning and this Bronco offense no indication as to what the coverage is or who's playing what position.
In the half, Manning gets a first down with Eric Decker, who's propelled out to the 43-yard line after the Thomas Deku hit. And Decker out of Minnesota led this team in receptions last year with only 44.
And here comes the Colts back, the Broncos back to their no huddle, trying to calm this Falcon defense down.
He's got time. Read it, Decker. Ball knocked down on the big hit by Asante Samuel. Flag is down on the opposite side of the field. It is a Bronco recovery. There's Asante Samuel with another big hit.
Boy, I'll say. Just a simple hook route by Decker, but watch after the catch. That's flush.
And Decker did a heck of a job fighting back for the ball.
29 of the defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I thought Samuel had it here for just a brief moment. 2 hands on it, and Decker was able to use the left hand to scoop it back in.
Falcons felt they had 3 #1 corners with Grimes, Robinson, and the addition of Samuel. They're down to 2 because of the injury of Grimes. They're going to have to really lean on Samuel to play great for the rest of this season.
The penalty on the far side for illegal contact away from the Samuel play. McGahee moves up to the 44 into Falcon territory with 3:40 to go in the first half.
Now Peyton's got him on the move again as Moreno checks back in as a single back.
The third snap on the Falcon half of the field, and a flag comes down as Moreno comes in and is brought down by John Abraham.
Holding number 81 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
These penalties, excuse me, Mike, are killing the Broncos. They've had them in short yardage, and now just take a look at Dreesen on the left side of the formation. I don't see it. I think you got to let him play a little bit.
Second and 13. Manning on the run. Arm looks strong enough there to Decker. He's shy of the first down.
Good movement in the pocket by Manning. He sets up. He's got some congestion around him. He pushes up, slides to his right, makes the accurate throw. Big 3rd and 1. And this is where the Broncos have failed miserably so far tonight.
Manning throwing. Pass broken up. Will Moore again, the safety. Well, the Falcons are looking for a penalty on the Denver front. Manning tried to encourage the sideline to go for it here. 20-0. 2:50 left. Dangerous spot on the field to go for it.
Don't see this often. No huddle, fastball play. 4th down.
Also saw a lot of the punt team coming onto the field for Atlanta, and Manning convinced them to go and wave them back.
Look at these Falcons showing all-out blitz.
And the panic communication along the line as well. 4th and 1, go for it. Throw for Stokely, wanted a flag on Franks, and there's one thrown to deep in the back. A flag is thrown well in the back. You'll see Stokely's left arm as he's reaching for the ball. Was it pulled back? It looked like it live.
Holding, number 29 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
No question about that. That's Dominique Franks. I want to remind you, he's the third-team nickel corner because of the injury of Grimes. Backup Christopher Owens still in the locker room. That's a clear holding call. And here comes Manning again, first down in the no huddle.
It was a very gutsy decision to go for it. The way the Falcon offense is starting to roll, giving them the ball at the 42, down 20. You got the penalty, so the drive stays alive, and McGahee goes forward to the 26-yard line. Sean Weatherspoon cuts him down.
The faster the Broncos play, the more they limit what Atlanta can do defensively.
The right tackle, Orlando Franklin, John, stunned for the moment on a knee. The Denver medical staff out, and so is Chris Clark, the third-year player out of Southern Miss.
Now, Chris Clark has been a tight end in a lot of running formations for the Broncos. Let's hope Franklin's okay.
So with the no huddle and the noise and the communication, here goes Chris Clark thrown into it. They put a tight end over on his side here. And run that way with McGahee for the first down at the 21 as we'll get close to the 2-minute warning.
And continuing to run this one-back power play with Zane Beadles, their left guard, pulling. They're getting after Atlanta with some of these inside shotgun power plays.
See if they sneak one in before the 2. Nope. They'll hold on, and we hit the 2-minute warning. Denver trying to climb back in the game, where they've turned it over 4 times and are down 20-0.
I cannot do that to y'all, man.
You good? Hey,
We good. I cannot do that.
we're gonna go out there and we're gonna score next drive, right? I'm a team.
Some of the behind-the-scenes from during the week. Sunday soundtracks coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show. Chris Berman, Chris Mortensen, Adam Schefter. Also the news on Jonathan Vilma's meeting with Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner in New York, and Morton Adam have the injury updates. Bad news for the Redskins off their loss in St. Louis. 2 players done for the year. Details coming up. Toyota Halftime Show. Ed Werder with some outstanding reporting in New York today on that Vilma meeting. And Adam and Mort as well with some documents that shed more light on the story. Find out the latest on the bounty situation at halftime. All challenges happen upstairs automatically. Last 2 minutes. Broncos trying to drive for a score. Manning end zone. Demaryius Thomas didn't hold on as he went to the ground. What a play by William Moore.
And another flag in the backfield. Might have got a holding call on Dreesen.
Number 78 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Used to call this pattern Dino double in. It's a post corner post route. Watch this pattern by Thomas. He beats Robinson clean, but out of nowhere comes Will Moore. That's big time safety play by number 25, Will Moore. Legal, vicious, and outstanding by the young safety out of Missouri. Great route by Thomas, and another costly Bronco penalty.
Exciting play on the back end. A moot point because of that flag on Denver. It's 6th tonight. 1st and 20. McGahee got around Stephen Nicholas. Nice move by the veteran. And McGahee gets to the 22-yard line. That's all the penalty yardage back.
I love Stephen Nicholas. He missed that tackle, but watch what happens, Mike. He doesn't stay on the ground and complain. He gets up like the ground is a hot stove, and he chases Willis McGahee down. That type of effort is contagious, and they missed Nicholas late last year when he got hurt. What an effort play.
Lance Ball is the running back for Denver. On 2nd and 10. Manning. Dreesen underneath. 2 yards shy of the first down. Here comes third down with a minute remaining in the half.
A little surprised Denver doesn't huddle and get to a real good short yardage play. They've struggled converting in these short yardage situations. They only have one back.
And it's Lance Ball turning up inside. First down to the 9. See if Denver uses its timeout. They've got 2 here. 40 seconds up. Peyton's going to keep him out there. Keep Matt Ryan on the bench for the rest of the half.
Manning has a great feel for the game, Mike. He has a feeling right now he's got Atlanta reeling. He's trying to get something positive before the half.
Manning looking end zone. Stokely goes up to challenge for it, and it's incomplete. Dante Robinson in coverage.
Boy, Peyton got away with one there. A little bit late to the outside. Just a little old combination you've seen for years with Indianapolis, but Dante Robinson is in perfect position. I think Peyton got away with one there.
Stokely in the slot to Marius Thomas, top of the screen. Manning looking right, hit, brought down, sacked. Timeout, Vance Walker leading the push with Troy Bierman for the sack of Manning. 3rd and goal when you come back. 4th year man out of Georgia Tech, Vance Walker. We've called his name a few times. A 7th round pick, hung around here in the league. John, he's been extra effort here tonight.
And just a great second effort rush by Vance Walker. He's going to be working against Manny Ramirez. Pushes the pocket, collapses the pocket, and gets the sack. But you have to credit the Falcons secondary. There's nowhere for Peyton Manning to go with the football. They've mixed coverages. They've applied pressure. They played extremely well in the back end as well.
3rd and goal from the 17. Manning shot from the end zone. Thomas, did he get the other foot down? No. One in, the other one didn't come down, and it's 4th down.
That's where the inexperience of Demaryius Thomas shows up. Let's see if he got them both in. Oh, he's
dragged it. He dragged it.
I'll take that back.
Right foot down.
It's one of the greatest tap dances I've seen.
And again, they are out of challenges, and John Fox is running out there, but you have no challenges. It's the last 2 minutes, so they get a huge break here. Because if this play happens outside the 2, they can't challenge it. Because it's inside the 2 minute, it goes upstairs for review, as long as they buzz down and tell the referee, and they have.
And John Fox.
The previous play is under review.
There's one more thing on that replay that we'll have to check now. We check the feet. Does he hold the ball as he goes to the ground in the process of completing the catch? There's up. There's one. We saw the toe tap with the 2. Now we go all the way through to watch as he goes down to the ground, holding the ball there and almost trying to show the ball.
If that's not a catch.
But he still has it.
Jerry Austin.
Yeah, he's all good. He's all good. He's all good. But you do need to watch all the way. It feels bizarre. He's 7 yards out of bounds, but you have to watch all the way through.
You know, so many young receivers, when they get these sideline plays, they lose sight of that white chalk. And I've seen a lot of plays early in this season where normally you see a ball complete and the footwork is a little bit careless, but that's a great individual effort by a blossoming young receiver.
Yeah, they've just seen the look, John, because it's one of the in-stadium enhancements. The fans see the big screen, exactly what the referee is looking at under the hood in real time as he's watching it, which is different from what you're seeing here. And we just showed you the angle with the hand and the foot dragging. As they watch on the screen, it looks to be a touchdown. And would be a huge play in this game, John, considering the 4 turnovers, Atlanta gaining offensive momentum. For Manning and company to drive back 13 plays in the last 4.5 minutes of this second quarter. Huge for John Fox's team.
It's an understatement, but
He's been looked at. And Ken Roan.
The ruling on the field has been reversed to a touchdown, Denver. The receiver was able to get both feet down inbounds while maintaining contact or control the ball all the way down to the ground.
Well, clearly they went to their young receiver in the red zone. They had him earlier, Mike, on a double post where Will Moore made a beautiful play. That time they went after Robinson again, and they broke to the outside. And Thomas makes an acrobatic toe touch reception.
And as frustrating as the delays and the reviews can be, very fortunate to have it happen in the last 2 minutes for Denver.
Sure.
Because once you're out of challenges, it's part of the issue that you have.
Didn't I see one of those other Mannings throw some interceptions yesterday and throw for about 500 yards?
Yes. 3 picks for Eli in the second quarter. Big comeback in the fourth in the Giants' victory. And here's what both quarterbacks have done. Mirror images in the completions and the attempts. The 3 Peyton Manning interceptions in the first 8:05 of this one. Kind of set the tone, has put Denver in a very different position than we thought they'd see them. We can go back to the beginning of the game, which feels like about a week ago, with how long the first half has been. And you mentioned with Peyton Manning what he told us last night. He feels like there's still some rust, and it would not be he's back and guaranteed to see these numbers again. He looks pretty good on that drive, leading them down the field.
And no question, what he's doing is very hard. I mean, he just got here 6 months ago. He's trying to replicate one of the great no-huddle offenses we've ever seen in Indianapolis for 14 years. Jeff Saturday, his longtime center, is not there. None of the coaches came with him. This is going to be a work in progress. It's just important that they continue to get better and better. And if they can hang around and hit their stride in November, the Broncos could be real dangerous.
I thought it was interesting. J.D. Walton, the center, is in his 3rd year. He's been the center for Robert Griffin III at Baylor, and then for Tim Tebow last year, and now Manning. He said, we do our walkthrough, and then we come back and watch video of the walkthrough, and it's all brand new. So much of this, the signals, the road communication of the complex offense, a lot of first experiences for these guys that they're trying to sort through. A big bounce back to Jaquiz Rodgers. As the clock should have been winding down sooner, now does go. Rodgers is down at the 35. And the first half comes to an end. Atlanta gets the ball to start the third quarter. The Falcons lead 27. And here's Chris Berman and the Toyota halftime show.
Round and round, run, boys, run. Peyton and Brian gonna have a little fun. Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Broncos and Falcons get ready to go. On Monday Night Football.
A good little ditty from Charlie Daniels, huh? That was very neat. Second half set to start in Atlanta, 20-7. Falcons on top. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salton. Bit of an exhausting first half in time, in patience, in a lot of different things. John, we're talking to Marty Aronoff, our great stat man up here, and as that drive was going on, Marty said, I think they misadministered a penalty, and they really did on that touchdown drive, and people have been talking about it on Twitter here at halftime. Let's go back and show you exactly what happened. This was the 4th and 1 at the 43-yard line. Note the blue line, the 43. The yard to gain for the first down was the 42. Pass interference called by the official in the back. Should be 5 yards on the flag and take it forward to the 38-yard line. The next play is run from the 32. The college rule for defensive holding is 10 yards on the walk-off. It should have been to the 33 in college, 38 in the NFL. Screwed it up twice. Drive continues, and there's a touchdown there at the 32. Thomas gets it in the back of the end zone. Now, you can't necessarily say that it kept the drive alive, but it gave them 6 extra yards within that 2-minute drive, and then there's the touchdown. So did it change the course of the game? Perhaps. You'll never know. But again, penalty administration, control of the game, a lot of those issues. But both teams have to deal with it, John. I think the big thing is Denver got back in the game with that drive at the end of the half.
Yes, they did. And, you know, I'm exhausted. I don't know what else to say about these penalties and the administration of penalties. But you have 2 quarterbacks that are going to decide this game in the second half. You got to fight through all the distractions.
Right.
At the end of the day, we can talk about the officials and the replacement officials and if the lockout or the strike. I could care less.
Don't forget
I want to
replays.
see these two quarterbacks go head-to-head, decide this football game in the second half, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the no huddle, you think, with both teams will be something we'll probably see, especially from Denver, because they found some rhythm with the no huddle at the end of that second quarter.
Yeah, and you have to credit Mike Nolan and this Falcon coaching staff for their defensive game plan. They have done a tremendous job confusing fans at home and Peyton Manning and the Broncos. And I really like what Manning did, closing them out, getting something on the board to gain some momentum. Let's see what happens in the second half.
All right, Matt Prater begins the third, squibs it on down. He's picked up by the up back, Lusaka Polite. Once it's shy of a 30-yard line. And here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Michael, I asked John Fox why he thinks Peyton Manning struggled so much early, and he said it's really hard to say, but they really came out early and got us good. But he said, I feel good about where we are right now. He said, we could not have played any worse than we did with the 4 turnovers, and it's still just a 13-point game. I also asked him about the officiating, and Fox was very diplomatic, given how upset he was at times during that first half on the sidelines. He said simply, I just want to make sure that they get things right. Mike?
Well, he has no challenges to do that in the second half. He had an incorrect one on his second one in the first half. Michael Turner running to the right. That's Von Miller shutting him down for the loss of a couple of yards.
That's tough on Tony Gonzalez having to block a demon like Von Miller off the edge. What a player young Von Miller has become as a pass rusher and against the run.
After the loss of 2, Ryan led a terrific touchdown drive on the last Atlanta possession of the first half. Down, good coverage by the Broncos. He has to come underneath to Julio Jones with a catch in front of Tony Carter. Just over the 32. John, 15 drives for the Falcons thus far this season. 6 touchdowns, 6 field goals.
It's impressive. They're hard to stop. They have skill. They have a veteran offensive line that's been in this system for a while. And at the end of the day, Matt Ryan makes a lot happen.
Todd McClure, the starter since 2000. The shotgun snap. Ryan to Gonzalez. His size over Mike Adams takes it out of the air. First down, Atlanta.
Well, it's good pass protection. You get Gonzalez one-on-one with Mike Adams. Watch him break to his outside. Great release. And how about the throw? You can't be in better coverage position than Mike Adams. Adams played corner and safety for the Cleveland Browns. He's played forever. Just a great throw and catch.
We go quick here on first down, and Ryan on the bootleg. Gonzalez brings it in. 7th catch of the night. 1161 in his great NFL career.
Bootlegs are killing the Broncos. Gonzalez coming from left to right on an over route. Changes speeds. Fools Woodyard, and another outstanding throw by Ryan. Hard to stop 2 great players when they get on a roll.
Ryan's hit 10 passes in a row. Michael Turner is wrapped up by Justin Bannon, now in his 11th year out of Colorado.
Tell you what Denver needs to do, Mike, is rush the passer. They've had no pass rush whatsoever tonight. Elvis Dumerville at right end, Pro Bowler last year, 9.5 sacks. We've talked about Von Miller at left end, 11.5 sacks. If this Falcon offensive line continues to protect Matt Ryan as they have in his first 6 quarters of this season, Atlanta's in business.
Twisting inside was Derek Wolfe, the rookie, but he was covered and blocked well as Julio Jones catches it downfield shy of the 40-yard line.
Well, this offensive line was very much criticized last year. And watch Sam Baker at left tackle. No help whatsoever. One-on-one with Dumerville, and he's done it all night. I like what Sam Baker's done at left tackle. Claybo at right tackle. New offensive line coach Pat Hill has to like what he's seen.
3rd and 4, Jaquiz Rogers in the game, circling out of the backfield is Rogers, and he can't hang on. He pushed for some separation from Joe Mays, but the fast-closing safety, Raheem Moore, forces fourth down.
Excuse me, that's the matchup they want. Joe Mays, who really hasn't been in a nickel defense much until this year because of the injury of DJ Williams. They got him one-on-one with Rodgers. That time the veteran got the best of him.
Here the field goal will be 57, so they'll punt it away with Matt Bosher. Try to force Manning to work along field. Jim Leonard will come up and catch it at the 13-yard line. So Denver's defense keeps Atlanta off the board, and Manning's on the field. Capital and some of the other sites here in Metro Atlanta. So Peyton Manning was down 20-0. The only time he's come back from down 20 in a first half and won a game. Down 21-0 on a Monday night in 03 against John and the Buccaneers. That was one of the great comebacks in NFL history. As Manning and the Colts won that one. Trying to do it with the Broncos here. With Marius Thomas with a 1-yard catch. Asante Samuel with the tackle.
Well, every snap there's 9 Falcons in blitz position. Peyton Manning doesn't like anything else but throwing it out there and getting a one-on-one look for Thomas.
Manning hit as he throws. Incomplete, intended for Eric Decker.
Well, Bierman, number 71, has been bluffing the blitz all night. He's been showing pressure, and bailing out of there. That time, number 71 brings it. He's unaccounted for. He gets a good lick on Manning. As did other Falcons. Big 3rd and 9. Now the crowd's back in the game.
Orlando Franklin, right tackle, hurt earlier. Back in the game for the Broncos to start the half. As Manning is held on to, brought down. And the pass is incomplete.
This is where Ryan Clady's going to have to earn his money, blocking John Abraham, who's done it for years, in this noise, one-on-one. He pushes the pocket. That could be a horse collar.
No, not in the pocket. Quarterback in the pocket can bring down that
way.
These
rules are confusing. I'm glad you're with me, Mike. Okay.
For Dominique Franks, who's playing the nickel because Chris Owens is out for the rest of the game with a head injury. Franks goes back to his regular role as the punt returner. Good 3 and out for the Falcon defense. Colquitt sends one away, 48 yards. Number 38, Franks loses 2. Covered by Nate Irving, special teams. Peyton talks to Mike McCoy about the protection. That time they got to him and forced the Broncos 3 and outs. And ouch. Well, one drive of success at the end of the half. Other than that, it's been a night of frustration. 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions in the first 8:05, and then protection issues. And Johnny keeps reiterating what you said way back in Monday Night Countdown at the start of this game. Peyton Manning, he didn't say he was back or the offense was clicking. He had some apprehension about coming on the road for the first time with this group in the communication. Showing here tonight. First down throw to Harry Douglas, complete. Matt Ryan's pass is a gain of 8.
That's interesting what Dirk Cutter does. He puts Mike Johnson, an extra offensive lineman, in at tight end. Another play action pass to Turner. And a good open receiver. They're doing a nice job in Atlanta using heavy personnel groupings, play action passes on early downs. We're hurting Denver.
Just in the cadence, Ryan spinning, finding Roddy White with a 35-21 first down yard.
Boy, that's a power pass, and they're really good at this. You're going to see the left guard Blaylock pull, and the weak side linebacker goes right with the pulling guard. Nobody underneath this slant route. That's how you draw it up, Mike. Clinic power pass action by Matt Ryan to Roddy White.
The 35 with time. Ryan again. White. 21 more yards. Moving at ease on this drive.
Harry Douglas makes a great play for Roddy White. This is what I love about this Falcon offense. Watch Harry Douglas clear out the deep zone for Roddy White, who's going to run a deep cross. But Harry does a great job getting doubled. That's just good, solid football by an unselfish wide receiver. Roddy White is going crazy right now.
Magic Quiz Rogers in the game. And that bunch to the left. Ryan looking right. Will run for 4 with a flag coming in. Multiple flags as he took off to run. So after a couple of 20-plus yard gains,
Holding on the defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
Champ Bailey flagged for the defensive hold.
Let's take a look at it. It's Harry Douglas again on an inside release. We're going to call that. Just get the feeling the Falcons are on the gas pedal right now. Matt Ryan has thrown the ball repeatedly on early downs that come out and start this second half.
At the defensive holding penalty, correctly walked off 5 yards after the slow start. Ryan has gotten hot since, 14 of 15. You know what? That should be a tack on because he ran the ball. He ran the ball and slid, so shouldn't that defensive hold be a tack on to that? Yeah, I think so. So they walked it off the correct 5 yards for defensive holding. But it's at the 10, and now the administrator of the game stops the official on the side. And again, if you didn't hear this last week, there's someone upstairs to help with the administration of rules, and if it's happening incorrectly, he gets down and talks to that man, the spare official, on the headset. They blow the play dead and will walk it off the 5+ the run, tack it on to the end of the run.
And Matt Ryan, a quarterback of the Falcons, he's not happy with this slowdown by the officials. I don't care about the mechanics. Matt Ryan says, I got Denver on the ropes. We have them in a no-huddle offense. We're marching it right down the field for a touchdown. And this administration is more than just where the ball is spotted. It's ruining the momentum of the game, and it's affecting the outcome, I believe. Might not look like it right now, but this is really to Denver's advantage so they can get their breath.
And John, it's a good point. It's magnified with the number of teams running no-huddle offense and making decisions at the line of scrimmage and trying to catch guys. Jerry Austin, just double check us on that because it was a Ryan run.
That's correct. When it breaks down and it becomes a run, then it becomes a running play, a foul by the defense, then is added on from the end of the run.
So that's why it does move up to the 6. They got the 5 yards right, but they weren't enforcing it from the proper spot. So those of you who are spending the night counting defensive holdings, there you go. There's one that we called there for you. 1st and goal at the 6 instead of the 10. And the run by Turner. It's about 1.5 yards before Keith Brooking violently brings him down. There's Keith Brooking back in Atlanta. Grew up in Georgia. 11 years the Falcons, 5 Pro Bowls. Signed as a free agent. Now his 15th year in the league out of Georgia Tech.
I really like what Champ Bailey's done tonight as a run defender. That time, he came from his left corner position and capped off Michael Turner. Nice finish by the veteran, former Georgia Bulldog.
Broncos rush substitutions in. On 2nd and goal, Ryan rolls it, throws it. Roddy White got him in. Touchdown, Falcons.
Well, you see number 32 Young Tony Carter talking to Tracy Porter. Falcons come out in a bunch formation. Call it what you want, a spray release or a jet stream release. Roddy White from that close formation is going to run outside breaking routes. And you see Tracy Porter, who's really been thrust into that nickel corner position, didn't know quite what to do. That's stealing. Nickel corner position is hard to play.
Extra point added by Matt Bryant. Couple touchdown passes tonight for Matt Ryan at number 100 on his career. And it's another one to Roddy White. Bo on the NFL week. Tuesdays at 3. Mike and Mike have their best of the NFL. Electric plays, the biggest moments. Golick will defend Greg Schiano. Greeny will whine about the Jets, among other things. Mike and Mike's best of the NFL. The guys will be with you tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern, noon on the West Coast on ESPN. 27-7. This Falcon offense continues with 2 terrific starts. Off the crossbar, off the upright, makes it a dead ball and a touchback. So there's work to do for Peyton Manning. Down 20 with a quarter and a half to go. See if he can get the Broncos to score closer when you come back. It's been terrific for Matt Ryan again here tonight after the strong opening against Kansas City, where he threw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and completed a similar 3/4 of his pass attempts. Been a great fit, the start of this new offense, John, with the coordinator change from Dirk Cutter, who was with Jacksonville. Amazing, you get some weapons and some of the plays you have look a lot better, don't they?
You're darn right.
It's a steady diet of Maurice Jones-Drew, and successful too with Cutter. Big hit on McGahee as he was running. By Asante Samuel.
Well, Chris Harris, their nickel corner's not playing, so Tracy Porter's playing inside tonight. And I think Porter has the first of the flat net coverage. But obviously Tony Carter, Porter, 2 young defenders playing out of position, struggled in that bunch formation.
Manning on 2nd and 6. On the throw to Demaryius Thomas. And all over it with the coverage is Dante Robinson on that opposite side from Samuel.
Well, that time they brought both inside linebackers. Number 54, Nicholas has had a big night. 56, Witherspoon. Again, Peyton Manning knocked to the turf. And this crowd won't let up. Look at this disguise. 9 Atlanta Falcons showing blitz.
Move over the nose. Parade Jerry. Was he induced? That's the question. Penalty would be a yard shy of the first down if it's on Atlanta.
Encroachment, defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So it becomes 3rd and 1. And John, go back. We mentioned Mike Nolan a lot, the defensive coordinator. It's a lot of trying to show Peyton Manning everything but what your defense is going to be in once it's snapped.
Oh, his players have really bought into it. Witherspoon and Nicholas walked into our production meeting and told us we don't even know how much freedom we have to move around in this defense, but we're finding out. And man, have they shown their progress tonight. Key 3rd and 1.
Atlanta running players in and out, including an extra linebacker, and they come up and make the play, and it's Witherspoon who started it with that other linebacker, Akeem Dent, to shut down Denver 3 and out.
That's just making a statement right there. 3rd down and 1. Watch the penetration, and Witherspoon scrape over the top and stuff Willis McGahee. He did it 10 times last year, tackling ball carriers behind the line of scrimmage. One of the great impact linebackers in football that I've studied all year, Sean Witherspoon.
6 tackles and a fumble recovery tonight. Britton Colquitt's a kick again to Dominique Franks. Gonna let that one go. Advantage Denver. Rolls down to be the 69-yard punt. It'll be a long field for Atlanta's offense, but they're rolling. The defense is under control. The Falcons are +20 on the board. 40-24 in Kansas City, week 1. 3 straight AFC West openers for Atlanta. And on the last drive, it was a continuation of week 1 with this prolific pass-catch combo the last 5 years. Over the last 2 years, no receiver's been targeted more than Roddy White. And yes, Julio Jones is starting to emerge. Tony Gonzalez is still a huge target in the red zone, but Roddy White, John, makes a lot of the hay when Matt Ryan needs to find somebody open on a big play.
Plenty of credit to spread around tonight, and I think it all starts with number 2. 44-19 since he's been here. Remember, the Falcons were 4-12, going nowhere before this kid showed up. Takes care of the ball, runs the show.
Back up inside their own 5. Run by Jacquizz Rodgers inside 4.5 yards. Now, to your point, we remember what happened with Michael Vick and the dogfighting charges and being released from this team and the arrest and all that stuff. And it was a franchise that really needed such a makeover. And they went with Ryan, and what he did was so impactful. Became the face of this franchise at a difficult time and has handled the burden of that and beyond since he's come in here from D.C.
Well, they lost 24-2 in the playoffs against the Giants, and everybody was up in arms about that, rightfully so. But I love the response from Matt Ryan. 3 weeks later, he's the first guy that shows up in the weight room. He sets the pace around here, slowly but surely. All the Falcon players followed his lead, and I like the way they responded on opening day. You know what you do after you have a terrible outing? You open up the season, you go on the road, and you bomb Kansas City 40-17, and they're after Denver right now. I'm really impressed with the way that Matt Ryan leads this Falcon football team.
Joe Mays, the Broncos middle linebacker, was shaken up on that last play. So that's the moment here as he's helped off the field.
There's a lot of veteran players on this Falcon team. You and I were talking about that with Tom Dimitroff at practice.
Yes.
Gonzalez, you look out there at McClure, the center. We talked about Roddy White and Abraham. There's a core of 7 to 8 30-plus-year-old Atlanta Falcons that are still playing great.
Second and 8. Ryan throws dangerous for Gonzalez and almost picked off by Tracy Porter, who had the pick 6 last week against the Steelers at Mile High.
That's what Denver needs right now, an impact play from their defense. Take a look at Porter on the left side of the screen. He undercuts this quick stick out.
It's a phrase that's been said a lot with Tracy Porter. He undercuts. Boy, does he like to jump routes and use his work during the week to make hay and pay dirt. Third and 8. Pass rush is late. Getting to Ryan as he throws, and it's caught by White. What a job to come back to the ball with strong hands for a first down.
Watch Matt Ryan deep in his own end zone with a premier pass rusher, Von Miller, beating down on him. Just watch number 58 coming from the right side of your screen on a stunt in your face. What a Roddy White snatching the ball. You can hear those hands plucking. What a throw and catch. 2 great ones.
First down pass, up 20 from the 21. Ryan hit, contact on the side by Tony Carter with Roddy White. And no flags, just an incomplete pass.
I think the Falcons are ready for a screenplay that they've talked about around here, or a draw, because Doomerville is not going to be blocked by Harry Douglas. That I do know, Mike. When you have a wide receiver blocking Doomerville, and on the other side, you can see where a lot of the attention goes. Claybo, Reynolds, double in the Pro Bowl.
We talked about that screens were not a very significant part of this offense as a timeout is taken here at the 4:07 mark.
12 guys again on defense.
They got the timeout first with 4:07 to go. And they did.
Point is, these Falcons, they substitute personnel grouping so much on offense. They force you to play nickel on defense. Then they force you back into your base. And clearly the Broncos have had some issues with 12 men on the field. That time forces them into a timeout. And that could be a costly timeout when you're trying to get back in the game in the second half.
Of course, it all comes down to Monday, not just the game, but a lot of your fantasy games during the week. So here are the key numbers that I know these players are owned in so many leagues. Ryan with the 2 picks. White closed in on 100. Gonzalez with a touchdown and 70 yards receiving. Jason Snelling's the back on 2nd and 10. Ryan, quick pass, White. Guys just bounce off him. He's so thick and strong in addition to those strong hands.
It's a ball handling. It's this play action pass. This power pass. It's just nasty. Pulling the left guard. There go the Bronco defenders. Ryan is quick. Reverse spin, 4-step setup, flashes his eyes, wide open receiver. If you like power passes, get a cut up of that reel. Clinic.
Snelling the back from the 32. Picks up the pressure up the middle, and Ryan tries to get himself out of the tackle box to throw it away toward the line of scrimmage. And the pass is incomplete. John, go back to that play that we just saw Roddy White make the catch on. You talk about a power pass. You always like to appreciate plays that look like one thing and then turn into the other thing. That's very often the action for a running play. And a couple of times they've beat him with the pass off of that. Indeed. And I've always respected Dirk Cutter. He has had a lot of plays that start off looking the same that are different. They run the ball on that one-back power play so much they get the activity they need from the linebackers to open up that power pass. This is a run with Jason Snelling to the left. Elvis Dumerville gets his 2nd tackle of the night after a gain of just 2 yards. Snelling in his 6th year out of Virginia. He's become the 3rd back. They brought him back for 3 years and $4 million this year. And they provide some versatility with Jacquizz Rodgers becoming more of a change of pace 3rd down back for this Atlanta team. And a lot of substitution from this Bronco defense. Expect anything from Jack Del Rio here. They have to generate pressure, and to do that, they're going to blitz. With count, Ryan goes. Nobody open, taken off with room. Slides head first, thus he gets the complete roll because he was going head first, and he's shy of the 1st down. Now, if you go feet first, it's where you start the slide. But you go head first, you bounce and roll until you're touched down. Well, watch all the way. They're going to snap the ball before Denver can get into any kind of blitz. But watch on the left side of your screen, number 44, Snelling. Watch him hit Woodyard right there. Well, I'll tell you, the Falcons have some aware backs. Snelling, Rodgers, and Turner. They got cheated about a yard on the spot there, and they're a yard shy of the 1st down, so it's 4th and 1. And Matt Bosher kicks it away. For 47 yards, and Jim Leonard is taken down immediately by Drew Davis. For Drew Davis and Kevin Cone, the 4th and 5th receivers up for the Falcons, have both made good special teams tackles here tonight. Well, here's been the blueprint tonight. Confusion. 9 Falcons hovering around the line of scrimmage, confusing this Bronco blocking scheme. Nowhere to run. And then hovering around again, you're going to see a zone blitz come from the bottom of the screen. Guys are coming and going. It's like a airport. It's like LaGuardia, Mike, where you fly in and out of. There's planes landing and taking off all over this Falcon defense, and they're still after it. Makes sense here in Atlanta with Hartsfield, busiest airport in the world. 88 yards for Manning and the Broncos offense. McGahee gets 3 here on the run with 1:40 to go. So is that deception one of the reasons that this Bronco offense in the no-huddle hasn't been as good as they were last week against Pittsburgh? I've never seen deception quite like this. I'm a little surprised Denver hasn't jumped in to their regular offense
and tried to calm them down.
Manning's got time here. It's deflected in the air, and Stokely able to catch it at the 33. Dominique Franks deflected it high up in the air, and Stokely was the one at 6 foot to come down and get it.
And Will Moore can't believe it. Number 25 of the Falcons is just going to be a seam route. Watch Stokely stick to the outside. He bends back to the inside, and Will Moore just can't quite get there for the interception. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Mike.
Gain of 16. Matthew Willis comes in after the first down for Denver in the quarter. Nothing for McGahee. Open field tackle Dante Robinson. Hey, John, these Atlanta corners have wrapped up and hit Samuel and Robinson tonight.
No question. You could talk about scheme and Mike Nolan playing all these different blitzes and the volume of coverages, but I'm impressed not only with the way the corners have hit. All 11 Atlanta Falcon defenders have run to the ball and hit.
2nd and 9. Manning protected. Completes it to Willis. 5th year out of UCLA. Caught one against the Chiefs last week.
Another great throw there by Manning, but just a fine break on the ball by Deku. Veteran safety out of California, limiting the yardage after the catch.
Peyton Manning and the Broncos limited to 7. They're down 20 in Atlanta after 3. Atlanta trying to join Arizona, San Diego, San Francisco, Houston, and Philadelphia. 2-0 teams to start the season. Or can the Broncos do it with a miraculous fourth quarter comeback? Down 20 as the quarter begins. On 1st and 10, they adjust to a run, and McGahee up the middle. Taking it to the outside. There's Samuel coming up again to make the tackle. Gain of 7.
It's really an impressive play by Asante Samuel. Remember, he left the game early with a head injury of some kind. It's a great open field tackle. McGahee busted the outside. His 230-pound back. One-on-one tackle. Good knife tackle by Samuel.
For 6th of the night. Manning throws out of the backfield. Lance Ball with space. He's taken out of bounds at the 30. A gain of 17. Ball came in after McGahee slowly went to the sideline off that last tackle.
That's what Peyton Manning's known for. Shotgun, play-action passing. That time the draw fake fooled Stephen Nicholas. Nobody covered ball. Manning obviously in 4-down territory. And now Atlanta has backed off to a more standard coverage.
He must disguise pre-snap. Manning climbs the pocket. Witherspoon covering ball out of the backfield. A solid play for the first-round pick in 2010.
Well, they tried to get Asante Samuel on a double move. Denver runs a lot of sharp inside under routes. That time they went after the veteran Samuel. He had nothing to do with it.
Second and 10, more pressure this time from Atlanta. And incomplete one more time. It's Stephen Nicholas breaking it up with Joe Dries, and the flag is down, back by the pass protection.
Illegal hands to the face, number 65 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Manny Ramirez has had a tough night tonight. Had a big holding call on 3rd and 2. Hands of the face infraction there, but these Falcon linebackers, you've said their names a lot. Nicholas, number 54. Witherspoon, 56. I wonder where Akeem Dent is, number 52, their middle linebacker. They haven't been in one snap of base defense that I can remember. And they lost Curtis Lofton, their leading tackler, to the New Orleans Saints, their ex-middle linebacker. What a job by these two young linebackers.
Second and 20, they show pressure and just bring 3. So 8 covering downfield, and Manning tried to hum it in there for Thomas, and a flag comes in for pass interference.
Defensive pass interference, number 22. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Just not letting up. Look at this. This is an 11-up blitz situation. And right before the snap of the ball, they're going to roll out of there to a 3-deep zone with only a 3-man rush. They're showing maximum pressure and bringing maximum zone coverages snap after snap. I don't know how they're pulling this off.
It gives them a first down. Manning pumping, firing complete to Thomas again with Samuel and Nicholas closing. And on those two plays, John, you certainly saw the velocity on those Manning throws for anyone who had doubts about how he'd come back after his first game.
Oh, that part's been very impressive. Let's see if he can close this ball game to a 2-possession score.
Running through is McGahee to the 7-yard line. Now, the way Denver's offense has looked, Atlanta's defense, what they've been doing, in your mind you're thinking it's going to be really hard to come back. But you know it's Manning, and you've seen him do this before.
Watch the play-action pass down here.
No John Abraham now for the Falcons. He's shaken up on the bench as McGahee pinballs his way down to the 1. It'll be first and goal, and this is a place where Manning likes to go quick and stay out there with this team and not let them sub-goal line personnel.
McGahee, one of the NFL's top fourth quarterbacks. He seems to get stronger as the game goes on.
All right, Jerry is shaken up for the Falcons. I think a lot of people know that Manning likes to go quick at first and goal on the 1 to keep you from getting goal line personnel in. Sometimes you can find ways to do that. Tonight's Area of Coverage from Atlanta is brought to you by DirecTV. All right, Jerry injured on that prior play, helped off by the training staff. First and goal, Denver, trying to climb within a couple of scores. There's movement.
There's
the outside.
Wide receiver got excited.
Ball start, number 88 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Get excited. You got bump and run, one-on-one coverage, and you know Peyton Manning's going to give you a hand signal. And looks like you got grabbed in the face mask too. Got to keep your poise out here. Let Peyton Manning give you the signal. You respond to it. Big penalty.
10th of the night. Shotgun run, McGahee again working inside. First hit by William Moore. McGahee marked it 2.
William Moore's had a great night. Number 25. Strong safety going to come in here and fill. I like the way he's played.
Over 100 yards from McGahee, 31st time in his career. Stokely a little bit closer. McGahee runs inside, keeps the pile moving to the goal line and in for a touchdown.
60th rushing touchdown of Willis McGahee's NFL career. That's how many Terrell Davis had. And that's almost all Willis McGahee. I think he got a little help from 68 Zane Beadles, his left guard. But watch Willis McGahee surrounded by Atlanta Falcons, and that's just great second effort running. 60 touchdowns. Not many players have done that.
That's that 100-plus yard night. Added extra point by Matt Prater, and it's 27-14. 30 years old from the U, Willis McGahee brings the Broncos within shouting distance with a ton of time to go. This is the 15th time Peyton Manning has played on Monday Night Football with a stellar 11-3 record. Tonight, one of the poor efforts with the 3 interceptions that happened early in the first 8:05 of this one, but a really good drive by the Broncos. 12 plays and 88 yards. They had a 13-play, 80-yard drive before the half. Has given them some hope here at 27-14 with 11:48 to go. And Matt Prater kicks it all the way back. It'll be a touchback. So if Peyton's on Monday Night Football and Gruden's in the building, anything can still happen. Remember this? It was 35-14.
That's just wrong, man.
I don't know if you remember this or not, John.
Yeah, you show it every time I'm with you on Monday Night Football.
Only when Peyton's
That's right.
here.
Don't quit on the sheriff, okay? Don't quit on any of these Manning brothers.
Vanderjagt with the doink off the upright. 28 fourth quarter points, 38-35. You say some memorable things,
yeah.
but I have to quote you directly. What can I say? I'm not going to stand up here and justify what occurred. We got bombed in the 9th inning. We have to move on.
Yeah.
It's a good quote.
Thanks a lot.
He's here.
He scares the heck out of me, man.
Can their defense get the ball back for Denver? It's a run up the middle for a couple of yards here with Michael Turner.
Well, you know what? That's when your defense has to step up. Yeah, you've had some turnovers. I'm so tired of hearing about these great number 1, number 2 ranked defenses. I'll tell you what the great defenses do. They get off the field in 3 downs, or they steal the ball and they get off the field. And right now, the time on the clock is the number 1 issue with Denver. We need a stop if you're a Bronco fan. And if you're Atlanta, take care of the football and continue to possess it. But Denver's got to get off the field on defense.
Michael Turner in the power running game that they would turn to in the past. Not rolling right now. Ryan runs, sliding forward to the 25 as Joe Mays meets him. Ryan gets him slow. It's 3rd and 5.
It's the 3rd time tonight Matt Ryan has made a play, and this is not a good sign here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's hurt or if his knee brace is all twisted on him. One or the other. He can take a timeout here, which would be the smart thing to do. Mike Smith going to let the clock run down, let the play clock run all the way down. It's at 17 now, and then take the timeout.
Looks like the knee brace just caught the turf there. Hopefully that's the case.
The good news is the equipment guys are the ones looking at him, not the medical staff. And Matt's got to unbuckle his pants to get to the knee brace to get it fixed properly. So the entire Falcons have formed a human dressing room around him to give him the privacy to get the knee brace fixed properly. As he adjusts that timeout. Well, next Monday night, we go to Seattle. John, what a win it was for the Seahawks over Dallas yesterday.
No doubt. Russell Wilson, rookie quarterback's first win. Mike, bring your earplugs because these Seahawk fans are going to be loud. Hard place to get a win if you're a visiting team. I don't care who you are.
So Matt Ryan's wardrobe malfunction repaired in the timeout. Got the knee brace straightened out. It's 3rd and 5. Big down for the Bronco defense. Miller's pressure gets to Ryan at the 14-yard line. A loss of 11 and a huge 3-and-out to get the ball back to Peyton Manning.
Is a great one. Reminds me of Derek Thomas. I've been saying that all week. Watch the spin move to the inside against 2 blockers. He does not quit, closes down, and takes Matt Ryan down for an 11-yard loss. Tremendous effort and finish by last year's Rookie of the Year on defense.
First sack of Ryan tonight. Matt Bosher to punt. With pressure up the middle. Jim Leonard's back for a 48-yard punt with good hang time. Leonard will get it just to the 39 as they went for the block. Hakeem Dent got down there easily for the coverage for the Falcons.
All of a sudden, Mike, there's plenty of time left. Here comes Manning. And he doesn't really look nervous at all, does he? He looks like he's been doing this for 15 years. Critical that the Falcons find a pass rush. I do not see John Abraham back on the field yet.
No, he went out with a left knee injury on that last drive, was deemed questionable. And as we look out there, he's not on the field for Atlanta. Noshawn Moreno is the back to start this drive. He fumbled earlier tonight.
Look at this Falcon defense.
Here's Moreno with a shotgun run. A first-round pick out of Georgia, tackled by Nicholas, no gain.
Going fast now. They're going to snap this quick, I got a feeling.
This was the tempo they got into against the Steelers in the fourth quarter. Manning getting rid of it high, and Thomas went up to get it. Demaryius Thomas using that size for the first down of the gain of 14.
They didn't block anybody. Peyton Manning is under duress instantly. He throws this ball up underneath zone coverage, over the top of soft coverage. Demaryius Thomas just goes up and gets it.
The angst level and the volume increases in the dome. Manning taking a shot downfield for Decker. Incomplete with coverage from Samuel.
Play action post pass. Stokely cleared out the inside safety. It created a one-on-one to the post for Decker. And Asante Samuel is on the spot. I think it's a good no call.
Lance Ball is the back, 2nd and 10. Quick toss to Thomas, trying to get the blockers on the side, as they did for the touchdown play that they ran last week against Pittsburgh. But Dominique Franks was there at the nickel.
It's a great job by Franks. Pressed into service. I know he hasn't had many reps at the nickel corner position. Good recognition, good pursuit, nice tackle.
4-down territory, right, Coach?
No question. Look at this Falcon defense. Everybody in two-point stances, showing all-out blitz.
And that's their whole defense. There is no other deep safety. It's all 11 in your screen. And they're coming at Peyton. And they got him. It was William Moore.
Been William Moore all night. That time Peyton Manning thought they were going to bluff, and they brought the house blitz. Great discipline by Will Moore, keeping contained at the bottom of your screen. He's had an interception, run back, numerous tackles, and now a critical sack when Atlanta really needed it.
2nd sack of Manning. Now you have to punt at 4th and 19. Colquitt had a career long punt on his last one, and this one is killed inside the 5 as Matt Willis goes down to get it. Give the Falcons a long field. The Broncos are running out of hope and running out of time.
Stuart Scott with you coming up on the GMC postgame report. We are all over Peyton Manning's poor start. Jonathan Vilma face-to-face with Commissioner Roger Goodell and the top 10 plays from NFL Week 2. It's all coming up. GMC postgame report on SportsCenter. Mike?
All right, Stu, thank you. See you then. Great to have you guys on the road with us here in Atlanta. It's 3 picks in the first, 8:05 for Peyton Manning, as the Broncos fell behind with 4 first-quarter turnovers. First time that's happened in a decade in an NFL regular season game. Britton Colquitt's long punt, pushing Matt Ryan back to the 3. And Michael Turner tries to run it out of there, and there's been very little running for the Falcons in general here tonight.
It's impressive run defense by the Broncos. And Atlanta's going to use all the clock they can. There's Jack Del Rio, the 7th defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos in the last 7 years. That's unheard of. Then you look at Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. It's the 7th team he's been the coordinator of.
It's a great life coaching. Right. Great life. Right? 2nd and 7, play action out of the end zone. Ryan flushed out of the tackle box, throws it over in the direction of Lusaka Polite, the fullback.
Well, that's a common backed up play protection. Everybody's going to slide to the left, and they're going to try and slip the back out in the flat and let Michael Turner cut down Elvis Dumerville. But Dumerville's seen this enough. He's going to have nothing to do with that. Good pressure and a nice second effort by number 51, Joe Mays, as well. Key third down.
Well, you said this Denver defense has to come up with plays. They had 1 3-and-out earlier, trying to come up with another one. And Tracy Porter is guarding Tony Gonzalez down here. Ryan throwing for Julio Jones. He was double covered. Carter, the corner. Safety coverage from Raheem Moore. And the incompletion gets him off the field with 6:25 to go.
That's impressive. 2 back-to-back series by Jack Del Rio and his defense. He's got to feel good about that. Let's see if the Broncos go for the block. Look at the punter now. His heels are going to be right near that back line. He doesn't have a lot of room to catch and release it. Looks like they're playing for the return.
And they've put Eric Decker back deep to return. He had 6 returns last year, including a 90-yard touchdown. Bosher able to get it away. Decker's got some room here from his own 46. Broncos will start in Falcon territory, just inside the 45 with 6:13 to go. So the defense did what you asked, John. It's 2 series in a row. They 3-and-outed the Falcons.
That's winning football. Your defense sometimes has to give your offense enough time to find the right rhythm, find the right mix. What will Peyton Manning do? The quick count last series backfired. Let's see if he maxes up some protections.
John Abraham back in for Atlanta. Missed the last series and a half with a left knee injury. See what kind of burst he can get around the edge. He goes down. Manning goes that way and throws to Decker. Sliding catch at the 28-yard line.
Like that. That time they kept the tight end in the block. They kept McGahee in the block. An 8-man protection. And off they go with Decker on a crossing route.
They give him 27, so the gain is 18 as we're under 6 minutes. Abraham comes over to the right side as Manning steps into Jonathan Babineau. Second sack of the year for the veteran.
That's what happens. John Abraham, who's been the closer around here for many years, gets speed pressure to the outside. You're going to see it coming on the left side of your screen. Manning has to step up, and here comes Babineau and Parade Jerry for the sack. Good coverage down the field.
2nd and 12. Manning snatched by Demaryius Thomas in space. Just shy of that first down as we get under 5 minutes in regulation.
Excellent catch by the young receiver, snatching it away from his body. Short yardage situation. 3rd and a long one.
Thomas is waving over there. Just throw it to me quick over here. There's a run inside, and McGahee has the first down. Close to the 15. With 4:35 to go.
Look at John Elway, Hall of Fame quarterback. He's seen this act before. He's pulling it off himself.
Executive Vice President of Football Operations said he couldn't find anything that replaced winning or losing. So that's why he wanted back in. Manning pumping, thinking about taking off, and instead of letting Moreno do the work, and no shot, using the sideline, out of bounds at the 3. 1st and goal with 4:10 left.
It's a great field by Peyton Manning. He pushes up. Nobody's open. His primary's not open. His secondary receiver's not there. He knows exactly where all 5 eligibles are, and he finds Moreno for a big 1st and goal.
Top of the screen, Demaryius Thomas so good with the ball in the air, being guarded by Asante Samuel. Manning looking left, throwing high for Decker, who wanted a flag on Dante Robinson. Incomplete, 2nd down.
One-on-one coverage. Remember, they worked Robinson at the end of the first half. This time they're working a quick double move slant.
Yeah, you see why he wanted the flag.
I agree with him. I don't understand. There's not much consistency on what is and what isn't PI.
Willis McGahee back in for Denver. will be the back, and he's run good hard yards down here out of the shotgun inside the 5. It's McGahee running inside, only pushed it forward for a yard. Inside of 4 minutes, we'll have 3rd and goal coming up with a couple of chances to get it for Denver.
Manning is positioning his 3 receivers all over the field, and if it's one-on-one, man-to-man, he's going to throw him the ball. If he senses it's a zone coverage, he's handing it to McGahee. And the tighter you get to the goal line, the harder it is to read.
Thomas and Samuel still up there to the right. Manning looking that way, throws it high for Thomas. A good coverage underneath by the safety Moore, along with Samuel on the corner, and now it's 4th down.
This cat and mouse game all night. That time a play action pass and great recovery by the Falcons secondary and linebacking core. Let's listen at home. What's Manning going to use on 4th down?
Still 15 on the play clock. Well run, it's McGahee, gets in for the touchdown.
How about this, Peyton Manning? A one-back power play behind Zane Beadles at left guard. And it walks in for McGahee's 61st career touchdown. That's a gutty call by any quarterback. Audibling to a running play with the game on the line.
Matt Prater to make it a 6-point game. So the Atlanta Falcons, who've been an extraordinary team with a 4th quarter lead, are watching Peyton Manning grind back into this game.
Well, it's a double team here on the right side, and you're going to see again Zane Beadles pull at the point of attack. It's a 6-man box. Great double team at the point of attack. Jacob Tammy, Orlando Franklin, Beadles, and Mora Willis McGahee make this a 1-possession game. And John Fox, he's loving this. He's been a coach a long time, as you know, and he's never had a quarterback like Peyton Manning.
He's had Stan Humphries along the way, Jake Delhomme, Kerry Collins, Matt Moore, and and he's put up a very good record. Some of those guys had good seasons, but to have a player like Manning who can come back from 3 picks, 4 first-quarter turnovers, really looked like nothing was going on mid-3rd quarter, and now it's a 6-point game.
Yeah, and I'll find a statistic for you somewhere. I think it's been about 46 or 47 straight wins for Atlanta when they've had a 6-point lead or more in the 4th quarter. It's an astonishing number under Mike Smith.
Yeah, let's start here, even bigger picture. As a franchise, they've never lost when leading by 20 in the 4th quarter, and they were up by 20 as we started here. So
yeah, you just showed that graphic about me losing a 20-point lead. That happens in this league. And right now, it's again going to come down to this Bronco defense. Can they give Peyton Manning one more shot?
They've come up with back-to-back 3-and-outs. Prater will kick it deep, and they'll start at the 20. So as we hit midnight here in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan brings this Falcon offense out, John, they were so good and so crisp, moving the ball down the field and throwing it. Now, for the last couple of years, they've been a sensational running team with Michael Turner and the power run game. But as they've changed a little bit as an offense, that element's not there, and now you got to go reach back and call for it when you need it to run the game out.
There's no question, and I give Denver a lot of credit on defense. They know they have number 18 on their sideline, and this defense is playing better. They're playing harder because they know if we get the ball back just one more time, we have the quarterback that can win us the game.
2:25 to go. It'll be Turner running up the middle. Adams, the safety, does a nice job holding them back, limiting the gain to 4. Michael Turner has not had a lot of production for his carries here tonight. Up until that run, Matt Ryan was the leading rusher for this Atlanta team.
Oh, he had 11 for 32 last week. You see the Falcons right now bringing back in Michael Palmer, number 81. Remember, he's the blocking tight end. The Falcons have some tendency issues now at tight end. They love Palmer, 81, to do the heavy lifting. If they run it, they're running it right.
Denver has 2 timeouts remaining. Clock turning at 2:40. Ryan stretching it with Turner, not going anywhere. Kevin Vickers in the play. Timeout Denver. Clock managing on the front end of the 2-minute warning by John Fox with 2:35 remaining in regulation.
Well, Kevin Vickerson out of Michigan State has been a real good run defender for the Denver Broncos. You're going to see him on the backside cross Tyson Claybo's face. I'm sorry, he was playing on the center, Todd McClure. Excellent run defense by the Broncos throughout this entire fourth quarter. And now you're over here on the sideline, you're Dirk Cutter, you're Mike Smith, you're talking to Matt Ryan. I think they're going to put the game in Ryan's hands and ask him to get one completion here to win the game for the Falcons.
They've thrown it once here in the fourth quarter. Denver's come up with back-to-back 3-and-outs.
Von Miller at the bottom of the screen. Dumerville at the top, 2 Pro Bowl defensive ends.
It's not the ball game on this play, but it's not far away. If Atlanta can convert. 3rd and 5, and Ryan looking, throw it underneath. Julio Jones gets the first down out of the Raheem Moore tackle. And it'll take it down to the 2-minute warning.
That's a great effort by Julio Jones. That just shows you the confidence the Falcons have in Matt Ryan. Just a shallow cross from one side of the field to the other. And Julio has to get those final 3 yards on his own. It pays to have big, strong, physical wideouts. And watch Von Miller at the bottom of the screen. We'll catch it on the rebound. Good pass protection by Atlanta.
2-minute warning. Denver only down to 1 timeout. Stuart Scott a moment ago. A reminder the GMC postgame comes up on SportsCenter as soon as we're done here. Let's go back to that last 3rd down conversion.
Watch the pass protection by right tackle Tyson Claybo, who gets help from Garrett Reynolds. That's really impressive. And Dumerville on the backside, one-on-one again with Sam Baker. That's tremendous offensive line play when you need it the most. Give Sam Baker, who had a lot of injury problems last year, credit. The ex-first rounder out of USC has done an excellent job tonight. That's a great sign if you're a Falcons fan.
Can't just take a knee and run out the clock. The best you can do from a Denver standpoint is use your timeout, get it back with approximately 20 seconds left. Michael Turner runs left. John Fox takes the timeout at 1:54. So you're going to get a max runoff with 5 seconds approximately for a play and 40 seconds on the play clock as Ryan will bleed it down and Denver can't stop it. And if they don't pick up a first down, don't go out of bounds, don't do anything stupid, a punt, get the ball around 20, 15 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood.
The 4-minute offense. Stay in bounds, protect it, expect blitzes. That time they brought Mike Adams on a strong safety blitz. If you're an offensive guard or center, expect a linebacker to run through one of those inside gaps. So you're going to see the Falcons reduce their splits on the offensive line. They're going to go about shoe to shoe, 1-foot splits, Mike. And they're going to just try to hand the ball off, protect the ball, stay in bounds, and run this clock.
Well, Matt Ryan was talking to us Saturday when we were at the Falcons headquarters after practice about when he reached the league. He reached out to some of the veterans and called them. He said Peyton Manning was very nice. Talked about learning how to prepare. He said he didn't give me many secrets. He didn't give me a lot of the tools to success and victory, but just in general terms. His first chance to go against Manning here tonight, and he's done well. Turner carrying toward the first down, and that should do it. Fumble ball came out at the back end of that, but he was down by contact at the 48-yard line, and that would clinch it for Atlanta with just kneel downs at this point. What a scary moment there as the ball came out when Turner went down after the 15-yarder. John Fox wants to make sure that it's seen one more time. As he goes down, the elbow comes down, then the ball comes free. So he's down by contact there.
It's amazing the success the Falcons have had with that wind back run. The first time we've seen it tonight.
That's right.
They caught the Broncos in the perfect front. Great call.
Now Greg Schiano, Tom Coughlin, rest of the NFL watch to see what happens on that play after the controversy yesterday with the Buccaneers and the Giants. And on cue, the Broncos come in hard. Falcons seem prepared for it. What do you think about that in that situation, John?
I've never heard of this conversation. I think no matter what happens, you play with the intent that the other guy's going to play hard. Don't ever relax on any snap. Offense or defense, don't assume anything. But I do agree there is a certain etiquette when you're in the victory formation like this.
And there, nobody makes contact. The game ends, and in his first, and who knows, perhaps only opportunity to go up against the four-time MVP and the future Hall of Famer Peyton Manning, Matt Ryan gets the job done. And the Atlanta Falcons are 2-0, and Manning and the Broncos are 1-1. 27-21 Atlanta. You'll hear from the significant participants coming up on SportsCenter with Stewart and Company here. John Butchergross, Scott Van Pelt, back in Bristol. We're up to Seattle for next Monday night. The Packers and the Seahawks in the Great Northwest. Now with John Gruden, Lisa Salters, and our great Monday Night Football team, Mike Tirico. So long from Atlanta. A little sloppy, but exciting. The Falcons 27, the Broncos 21. This has been a presentation of ESPN.